All I know is that it's gonna be a long night, a long show. Okay, let me just hold on for a second. And I'm back. I guess. I hope. Let's see about that. Can anybody hear me? Echoes and playback. Thank you. Hey, who's that? A lot of very beautiful people. Starting with you, Mr. Synchrotron. It was just percussion. No, it was a little bit of echo. So yeah, in six oscillators fashion. Oh, sorry. Welcome to Six Oscillators, where guitars and synthesizers collide. The universe of sticks with strings and keys with weird sounds. Do I have something prepared for you today? Heck no. As usual, we're just gonna fly solo and hope for the best. But I got plans, and I got dreams, and I got memories. Even more important, I got memories. Memories of finally that event I've been preparing for the past 3 videos, 1 show and 2 extraordinary videos. Synth South West. I can barely talk, as you can hear. Which was amazing on every level, including the fact that everything I planned went south. Nothing happened like it should have happened or like I planned it would happen. But nevertheless, it was amazing, a beautiful memory, a memorable event that I'm hope to see happening again. My hope and my good vibrations goes to the organization ProSynth Network, and especially for the head honcho of the event, Mr. I'm gonna call Peter because I'm just blanking on the surname. I'm pretty sure you can tell me how to fill up that blank. If not, it will come back to me in a second when I calm down. We had scenes, we had people, we had cake, we had games and VSTs and vintage and new and future, and we had music. Tons of music, beautiful music, amazing music, which I cannot call any credit for because my contribution was meh. At least from my point of view, but you know, I'm silly like that. Tonight, are we gonna just catch up with some friends, talk about talk a little bit of this device which I have. Once again, remember, none of the gear you're gonna be watching here, it's being provided by the respective manufacturers. Every gear we talk, comment, show, or showcase is being acquired by me and my co-hosts' hard-earned money, and we did good choices, bad choices, choices we regret, choices we learned from. That's why we just share our experience and our own opinions. Everybody's opinions is their own. None of them are alleged to the show or the program. So you can call us off if we get anything wrong. Please do. Please comment, share, subscribe. That's old school. Nah. Be like the cool kids. Just keep scrolling and jumping from one thing to the other, never committing to any shit. I've been told. So, because it's crazy how very few select people of you are watching, are coming to the show at this time and this place and this moment in time. But then YouTube keeps telling me that 20 times more people watch the show afterwards, average. And it's bugging me. It's like, okay, why? As in, are we doing this at the wrong time? Should we do this on a different day? Which is kind of hard because my availability is really minute. It's weekends only. I'm a weekend warrior. We all know the type. But I could accommodate, I think we could accommodate some time shift if enough people asks for it. As in, go down the comments down below, you know the deal, you've done this, you get it, and tell us, oh, I would rather watch this show live at this particular time. Please state your time zone in the globe. Remember, this is the YouTubes, because all around the ball, the little ball floating in space. So tell us either GMT or UMC or West Coast, East Coast, wherever you are, where are you from, what time would be more suitable for you to watch this show. And trust me, we will take it in consideration. Okay, sorry. I don't know what's that about. Synchrotron is sharing that his live streams, very few peeps, I understand, people watch later. Yeah, this show is the opposite. Very few people come live, and the gross amount of them watch them later, somewhere later. I rather don't worry myself with when and which part of the globe is when, what's happening, and who is this, so I can pinpoint fingers. I don't do that. This show is not for that. This show is not for profit, if you can get any profit out of YouTube. And it's not even for money. It's for us just, first of all, remember, this show is for me to learn what the tech can do, how can I handle the tech, what's out there, and how to get the best out of it, and to share my experience, my beginner, ignorant experience through this tech, which is very new to me, at least the synth side, not so much the guitar. On the guitar, I've been a little old on the tooth doing this thing. But I'm still willing to learn, and I have goals in life with my bands or projects or whatever, and I want to use the tech to get that. Yeah, I agree with that. My show, my schedule. No, everybody watching, it's no problem. You can watch now, we'll watch later. But either way, please leave a comment. Say you didn't like the show. Say you did like the show. Tell me everything I got wrong, all the facts that are not true or they're not precise. Tell us. Let us know that you care about this environment, this community that I'm trying to build, element by element, beat by beat, blow by blow, and let us know, hey, I also like guitars and synthesizers, and I'm from here, and I don't like what you do with the show, or I do like it. Just say, hey. That's it. Say hey, go down, say, hey, how's it going? That's it. Okay, that was weird. Computers, huh? So, that's enough blabbing. So, I'm gonna cry for help, and I'm gonna ask my beloved co-hosts that I would love to be able to call friends to join me and rescue me from this moronic blabbing about things that don't really matter. Let's start just out of alphabetical order. Come on, that's always fair. Let's start with Mr. Guitar Fool. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
Busy.
How busy is busy?
Extremely busy.
You have no time for shaving? That type of busy?
Not quite that fast.
Okay.
I'm getting an echo.
You're getting what? Oh, that means, what about now?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you're feeding back my sound to me. So.
Yeah. It's the one of the small kinks on my convoluted system that I haven't ironed yet. So, please let us know if the sound could be improved, if somebody can't be heard, or any other thing that bothers you. I swear I'll do my best to fix it. I just don't expect too much because I'm just a guitar player. All right. Let's also welcome, yeah, everybody's on the seats. Every pupil is attending to the teacher. So, as I said, okay, alphabetical, nickname alphabetical. So, Mr. Synthetic, how's it going? How you doing?
Yeah, usual shit. How you doing?
Not too good, not too bad.
Yeah.
Nothing to complain about.
So your live performance was an onstage version of the show, basically? Is that what you're saying?
No, I wish it was.
Oh.
The show is professional compared to the live performance happening. Really, I still don't understand how almost everything went wrong that day. Okay, sorry, tangent. I woke up early enough so I could do all my waking up process because I take pills to sleep. So waking up is a little harder because they need to wear off. So not too soon, not too old, because everything was packed. I just had to wake up, do my stuff, and put everything in the car and leave with plenty of time. Okay, time to spare. And so I did. Loaded everything in the car, got myself ready, sat nav, start driving. Look at the watch, great. Sat nav projection, I'm gonna be there 20 minutes in advance. That's the way I like it because, shit happens, hour and a half drive. Here in England, all hell can break loose in an hour and a half. Right. Suddenly, I'm cruising through town because I'm kind of skirt-ish of this little town, cruising through the middle of town, and obviously you go and look at your mirrors to check the traffic so you don't crash onto anybody. Although UK on a Saturday morning, 7 a.m., no soul is on the street, but trust me, or 6-ish. Right. And suddenly I turn mirror, and when I look through the mirror on the middle, I look back and somehow something clicks at, wait, something's missing. I got this, oh my freaking hell. I forgot the stand for the keyboards.
Oh.
Because we're not talking about one of those tripod with 2-tier. No, we're talking a freaking 6-tier Jaspers with tubes the size of the car in black.
Yeah, it's big.
Right? I forgot the freaking Jasper. And it was, so I had the keyboards just stacked on the floor, the rack by side, and the Jasper on the wall. I didn't see it. I didn't think I needed it. So
now you know you need a checklist in the future.
I did. And I didn't tick off the Jasper because I didn't even remember to read it on the list, right?
You
had a
checklist to check the checklist? Is it?
Exactly. I had to make a checklist to check the checklist. Crank on the brakes, turn around, drive home, load the Jaspers with no wiggle room. When you load a car, you usually 1 or 2 times you have to rethink something better and reposition. No time for that. Just shove it whatever way it fits. And the way I transport the Jaspers is I don't fold the A. So I get 2 A's flattened and then all the pipes in one bundle, right? That way, when I get there, I just put the triangles on the sides, and I just linked them with the bars to save time and cranking bolts. Because first time I put it up, I overcranked one of the bolts, and I had to do the whole event with one single speaker. Fun. Good. Turn around, shove it in the car, back on the road. Sat-nav projection, 15 minutes late.
Yikes.
There goes my 20 minutes ahead. So that was the beginning of the day. And it didn't stop all day through, right? Including the performance. But even so, all things that nobody else but me cared about, nobody got hurt, nobody died, and I had the best time of my life. Altogether, what is the remainders of experience of that event was, I would do it 100 times again, even with the mistakes and the faults and everything. And talking about bad memory, I just forgot. I'm so sorry I had you in the green room waiting. Did you hear everything?
I did.
Mr. Chrome.
That was a wonderful story, and it's happened to all of us, of course. Something about Gaulish. I don't know why. I flew a plane and got all the way over there. Oh no, I forgot my A-frames.
Thank God I didn't have to fly.
You know that something has to go wrong. That's a given. So
yeah, but what?
If you plan for it in advance.
One thing wrong. Yeah, I can. That to me is a success. But trust me, things kept going wrong all the way up to the point where to do the gig, I had things on my pockets, heavy stuff, so including the keys. So I said, okay, no, well, I don't want that. I put everything on my bass case, on my bass guitar case, right? Tear down everything, go back to my stand. Minutes and minutes go by, almost an hour go by, and suddenly I remember, oh fuck, my car keys are in the bass case that is in this moment, hour and a half away from here in the go to Bournemouth. Because my bandmate took all the gear from the performance, because he wouldn't fit in my car. I was taking the exposition, he was taking the gear. I have to text him without coverage, having to hook up on the local Wi-Fi to text him, I'm so freaking sorry, please turn around, drive another hour my way so I can have my car key so I can load everything, because the event is closing in an hour.
So that was really a him problem, not you.
Wow.
So, no.
Hey, at least you didn't leave your phone in the base case too.
That's it.
Oh, sorry, I didn't set my keys, my phone, and my wallet.
Wow.
Seriously, everything that could go wrong went wrong that day. And still I had the best time of my life. Really. Because I guess it's the, how you call it, fight or flight, adrenaline rush. Everything is more intense, more pleasant, less dramatic. Or it's just that that day I took the right dose of my drugs. I don't know. God knows.
You didn't get Bill Graham screaming at you, so you survived the day. And
Who? Bill Graham?
Bill Graham?
The bass player?
No, the concert impresario.
Yeah, he was a promoter in there's Bill Graham's Civic Auditorium in San Francisco. It's named after him.
Yep. The Fillmore
Sorry.
West for his and all like that. So
I don't mean...
He was known to be a feisty promoter. So if you crossed him, you were going to hear him.
I don't mingle in those circles, thankfully. Give me a second.
That's it. Well, you'd have to have a seance with Bill these days. But anyway. But how was the performance? So you said you
okay.
didn't record it, so...
Oh, well. You know that. They don't know that. Okay. Shall we do this again? So, I was already overwhelmed with putting together the exposition, all the collection, everything working so everybody could have fun using them, testing them, disclosing them, and also, sadly, trying to keep on my head the music for the songs we were about to play, which I had 72 hours to learn technically, because the month and a half time I had from we agreed to do the performance till the day of the performance, I basically spent creating the backing tracks, fighting my fucking laptop, killing one hard drive, losing all the projects and having to restart them again in the DAW. Not fun. Thankfully, one of the tracks was already done. I only had to tweak it, but even that tweaking took me a couple of days' work.
So you played a synth guitar over backing tracks? Is that what you're saying?
So yeah, we were, and that's another thing that's what I was trying to get to that point. So the performance was by my synth wave, you can call it synth wave project, HCO, Human Control Oscillators, which is at the moment me and my bandmate Chris Gilbert on guitar. And for this performance, possibly only, we don't know, because it was the first performance, so the future will tell. Okay, trying to catch up. So we didn't have time to, or at least I thought we didn't have time to write music from scratch. So I said, okay, we can play one of my old tracks, which is done. And it's an old project I already recorded and designed to be a backing track for me to play on top. And I thought, I got good technology with good software. How bad could it be to remove one of the instruments and get it to play along live? It proved it was really way harder because that I don't know how to use properly the tech I have. I think all the tech I have is not really as good as they claim to be, which is spectral layers, which is meant to be, what's the other one? Ozone, the one that does the stemming. Is that ozone? No? Okay, all right. So mine didn't do it. So what I had to do was just do, out of mastering techniques, just try to dim down the guitar. I managed barely. It didn't sound like I would wish, but hey, oh well. And then we agreed we would play a cover, because in a month and a half, two professional musicians like me and my bandmate, if we cannot learn one single cover song, we should basically settle the gear and retire. Famous last words. And we agreed to me on the most people-pleasing and simplest song of the synth era to learn, Cars by Gary Newman. Because, face it, it's just 4 riffs, 3, depends which instrument you play. So it should have been easy enough. Although that also came with a lot of tales, gave me a lot of headaches because ignorance. I'm not a master professional music producer. So in the meantime, Chris, which also I had just met, we've been chatting together about putting together a band roughly 6 months or less. He came with, oh, I got this thing. What do you think? And it was a fully 2.5-minute recording with everything finished, everything done. So, oh, awesome. We can prepare this one, pick and prepare mine and the cover. 3 songs, 15-minute set, easy peasy, done. Yeah, I wish. So, I had the problems at trying to mix my track. I had the problem trying to create a drum track for Cars. That was another project that got destroyed with a hard drive.
I mean, the part that goes.
Yeah, sadly, that's only one of 7 instruments playing in the drums alone.
Yeah.
Funny tangent as you comment. I thought, okay, because we were we're playing Gary Newman because of the new Gary Newman, the new impersonation, the new era that he's putting out, which is a little more industrial, a little more heavy metal, a little more modern, if you wish. It's not just rehashing his old tracks, although obviously all the fans will feel betrayed if he makes a performance and he doesn't play Cars or Our Friends Electric. But he plays it on a different twist, on a different flavor. Same track, just different instrumentation. And we agreed to get one performance, 1 year old of that song live, and I thought, good. That Spectral Layers will help me to just extract the drums from that recording and use that untouched, just extracted. Yeah, I wish. As I said, I don't know how to use that properly because everything I got was not good to be used live, as in very artifacty. Good. Which had me trying to rebuild the drums, which is the tangent, is, okay, now, fuck it, I cannot extract it. It's very hard to substitute because not even the decoupling software can even get just the hits. And we're talking a drum track. Not even the hits are taken in properly because it's confusing cymbals with crashes, with rides, with shit.
The reverb doesn't help, yeah.
And tons of reverb on a live performance. Right, doesn't help. Even when one of the modules is to de-reverb the song before and then try to extract. Didn't work, nothing worked. Said, okay, fuck it, I'm gonna rebuild it in MIDI. The only thing I got from the live one was the kick drum, which tells me the bars, the accents, a little bit of the feel. But to rebuild the MIDI, I need to quantize and I need to be sure that I'm putting the right hits on the right spot. So I need to know the tempo. Fucking hell. That kick drum was nothing but out of time through the whole freaking song.
I mean, it's an old song. Listen to old George Roeder stuff. It's way out of time.
No. I'm not telling you the cast from the album, The Pleasure Principle.
Okay.
I'm talking you the performance he did in the Something Academy in UK a year ago, right? That guy, that kick drum was all over the place. I could not even get the tempo straight. Not even the tempo, right? Although I have this function in Cubase that it will give you the real tempo map of whatever rhythmic shit. Problem is, it measures every single beat, every single impulse on what its length. So it makes you a click map instead of a tempo track. Right, so it's has a ton of, it doesn't loses the feel of the human drummer, but it's a nightmare to try to square and to quantize. Said, okay, then let's get back to the 70s one, which should have been done with a freaking drum machine, right? Heck no. The 79 recording, the kick drum is human. And it's all over the freaking place. That also, none of the kick drums hit on the mark. All of them, not a single one, all of them, ahead or behind.
That's probably why people like it. It's not robotic, right?
It sounds amazing. But when you're trying to guess which one is the right one, the ahead one or the behind one, to match everything around that, it's a nightmare. So I said, fuck it, I'm going to quantize everything. I'm going to take the original kick drum, quantize around that, and that's what I'm going to use. And that's what we used. Amazing. Is now with this new technology, with the DAWs, that you can actually put in under the microscope human performance, music human performance, you wouldn't believe how much inaccuracy we understand as good music. Another lesson like that was when I started learning how to use singer pitch correction for singers. Sadly, I started with a friend of mine, which I'm not very sure. I wasn't very sure of his pitch precision, right? So I started putting it through the machine and reading the results and going, mate, dude, you're all over the place. You're everything from 10 to 45% off pitch on every note. It almost cost me the friendship because neither of us did handle that well. Egos, musicians, hello. But then out of kind of shame and guilt, I say, wait, okay, let's put this to the test. Is his fault because he thinks he's way better than he actually is? Or is my fault, which I don't know how to use the gear, which is the most likely case? So I started extracting very crudely or trying to find pieces of professional singers, people we think they're amazing singers, and put them into the machine. All right? The only one I didn't try was Pavarotti. Okay? But I think I even managed to try, not Elvis, Sinatra. I think I managed to find a piece of Sinatra, a piece of Bowie, a piece of people that everybody thinks they're very great singers. You wouldn't believe how much far off pitch are they.
Well, especially with Bowie, it's more characterful than like precision, right? Quality. You like the sound of his voice, you like the vibe he has, but he's not super tight.
But trust me, Sinatra didn't came very well neither.
I never thought he was a good singer, to be honest, but that's just me.
Can't stand him.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Short of, what is it, Enrico Pavarotti? Short of Pavarotti, which professional opera singer, you expect him to have perfect pitch on the singing. Luciano, thank you very much. Short of that, I tried everybody. I got a grip of and I started singing a pattern, basically, which is, I don't know how to read the machine, because the machine is perfect. It's measuring singing pitch against a tuner, a digital tuner to the cent. So it's giving you a bunch of readings that sound or read like, oh, this guy is totally off pitch. But no, in fact, that's what is expected. And the other lesson he taught me is that the machine reads as imprecise pitch through the tremolo. The more tremolo you apply, the machine only gives you the drift from the pitch it should be, because you're going up and down.
The other problem is Rick Beato did video on this a lot with other people. Modern music is so quantized and so auto-tuned and all these other post-processing stuff, that when people listen to actual music from the 70s and 80s and stuff, when that wasn't around,
it sounds out of tune.
It sounds wrong. But no, that's how it's supposed to sound. All the other stuff that's fixed and robotic is actually shit. It doesn't sound good.
Because it loses to hours, it loses emotion, which is all those
and the feel, right? The
feel,
vibe,
the emotion, the feeling, the vibe. Because the first memory everybody has about a singer, a good singer, is our mothers. That's the first song or tune or pitch that we understand as, oh, that is how it's meant to be. Then when you grow up and start hearing other singers, suddenly it says, whoa, this one is better than my mother. Then this one is better than the one who was better than my mother.
It's like that's the synths that have the vibe, right? And then you have a modern synth and you add the analog slop knob to bring that vibe back to the tightness of this, fake analog synth stuff. So.
Because we found perfection when it comes to pitch, perfection. We find it sterile. We find it not pleasant because it's not human. It's not what we can create. Well, back to the performance. I have ready a chunk of it. So if you can bear, well, I had ready. Yeah, I'm gonna try. If you want me, I can show you.
Because I heard they only recorded the thing across the street. So your stuff got recorded as well, and some other people's too?
That's what Uncle Chrome was referring to, is that with all the buzz on my head, the guilt of almost ruining the whole show because I forgot about the stand, the biggest chunk of metal of the whole preparation, and trying to remember all the facts about the collection so I can share it with the people. And the previous week, before running out of time and fighting the tech, basically, I have a sleeping disorder. I need drugs to sleep properly. Otherwise, I get in health trouble and other types of trouble. That previous week, I didn't manage to sleep more than 35 hours in the whole week.
Ouch.
So I was sleep deprived, stressed as hell, guilty, and knowing, oh shit, I'm not, I don't get this because the first most basic thing I had to do in the morning already failed. So tons of, I'm also learning that I'm neurodivergent if nobody else noticed, which would be weird. And all the stuff, so I had too much in my head. And the setup I was putting for the performance is too much because I can explain. So right on the day, we did brought a tripod to hold the phone to record the video of the performance for, as I call it, for the black box, for my own archive and to learn from the mistakes. And also because we knew that the PA for the event would be in front of us. So we would not have a real-time check capability of how is it sounded, how
There's
is...
no wedges there to hit, you can hear your own stuff.
Nothing. We were behind the main two speakers that were facing. So we brought the setup, which is one tripod and one clip for a phone. So we would put it there and perform and then check afterwards. Luckily, the event took place on an old chapel, a very small church.
Lots of reverb.
No.
No?
That was the biggest surprise.
Really?
The smallest reverb on a stone wall building I've ever heard in my life. Almost dead. Obviously not dead, but compared to what you expect, as in clap, 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 clap. No, it was very small, but also I think it was because all the walls for comfort, for weather control, are lined inside with some kind of plaster. I'm not sure if
also jagged
drywall.
rock instead of smooth rock?
No, plaster, flat plaster.
Oh, on the inside. Okay, right.
On the inside was all flat plaster. I don't know if it had some kind of cushioning or heat chamber, as in rock wall or anything, and they used drywall, or just a very thick layer of plaster on top of the rock. But that helped a lot. So it was really controlled for a church. Okay. But my point is, because it was a church, it had a second floor for the choir, right? And we had access to that. So in the last minute, we managed to put the tripod with the phone on the choir level, so no people would stand on the visual. It was just tilting down, as you're going to see in a minute. Sadly, I also prepared my mini disc to record straight from the mixer that we were using, because in order to try to control the audio, we set up both pedal boards straight to a mixer, and that mixer straight to the house mixer to go out of the PA. I said, just on a futile attempt to control as much as we could. So I had my mini disc plugged into the mixer and the tape out. And the day before I had it set up, I thought, good. Because we knew that the audio getting into the phone would be pants, basically. Good. Everything was set up. And I forgot to press record. So yeah, the mini disc stood on top of the mixer for the whole the whole gig. Back to the checklist. Hell yeah. Don't worry, it's gonna come again. So the only audio we have of that performance is the video from the phone.
They come out pretty well these days. Yeah.
No, the audio is fine if it wasn't because in between the speakers and the phone, it was 150 people in between.
Oh yeah.
So that's the bad. Quality-wise, it's really good. You're going to hear it in a second. As soon as I can share it. Because I'm going to...
So the thing you were talking about, the stress and all that stuff. I mean, it's bad enough if you have to do just a live performance at a gig, right? And then you also have to bring all of your gear and prep all that and have a nice display. And you have the long drive and you have all this other stuff. So you had like a perfect storm of shit. So the fact that, you had a fun day was amazing.
Hell yeah.
That's good. Yes.
Because once again, I knew from the get-go, I knew that it would not go perfect.
It's a lot of stuff.
We tried
it's just
too many stuff and too many first times. It was the first time that I would play together with my bandmate, and it was live. It was the first time that we were playing 2 of the songs for an audience, and it was in those situations. It was the first, too many first times. So I knew it would be a disaster. I just couldn't even foresee that it would be that much of a disaster. Okay, let's see if I can share this.
Are you going to post this on your channel later? Your froze?
Yes, that's very, very likely, yes.
Cool.
Okay, it's not there. I just need to decide if I'm gonna just post everything like you do with your excursions outdoors.
So don't make it all crazy and edit and
or exactly, or just chop off the awkward silences. They're useful to me because it reminds me of the reality of doing these things. But
excuse me,
I don't know how useful it could be for anybody else. So if I share this and add to stage, cool. So as you can see the chunk of the organ there in the background. What I'm trying to stomp on is my main pedal board, the one that has GR55, my GT6B, and my straight bass processing, a bunch of Boss pedals, and a myriad of very dangerously attached cables.
That's your new pickup you just installed too, right?
That's the new pickup on the new 5-string. Yeah. That was the whole point. And microphone on the middle because I was doing backgrounds on Chris's original. And at the other side, if you can see, there's another mini pedal board. I guess I could I? Give me a second. I'm gonna try to do this. Sorry, I just thought a better way to do this, I think. So, yeah, stop it and share again. Share screen. There. Because this way.
Were you guys the first performers of that set?
No. On that stage, we were the third performers. First one was Ian J. Cole. He did a beautiful, really amazing performance with his instruments and a couple of other tabletop devices. I had no time or I didn't want to bother him by going close and start gear spotting. In fact, okay. Once again, this might go wrong. So, you should not see anything because I didn't do this. So, can you see my pointer? Yes, you should. So, this red beat over there, that's my GT6. My foot is right on top of the GR55. Stone boxes to take the straight signal from the guitar to do extra processing if required. But the one that made everything more convoluted is this little pedal board here, which is basically 4 expression pedals, which is the only way through MIDI 5-pin in to get back to the main pedal board, connect to my MIDI hub, one of the CME boxes, those square boxes with 5-pin DINs in it. Not the one with WID incorporated, but the other one, UX6 something Pro. I can't remember exactly the gibberish. To control the parameters, I was needing to control in real time, not for this song, but for the first song, which was my original. And I'm starting with the one that came out the best, which is the cover. the third song in the set, because that's when you realize all the mistakes you did in the previous two songs. But if you want me, I'll show you the first one, the one where I'm playing guitar, and why is important for this show to show that song as cautionary tales of things to be careful with 55, with GR55. So I'm going to press play, and let's see if the sound comes to you. I'm going to mute myself, otherwise it could get nasty.
If you can.
I can make it like this. Yeah, that's what you get. That's full screen, right?
Yep.
Cool. So I'm going to press play. In fact, I'm going to give it a little less. To see if I can hear the audio.
Not here yet. No.
No? Okay. Let me fix that. So I'm gonna mute you all, guys, because for you to hear that, I think I need to mute you, which means I need to get back to I'm losing it here. So I'm gonna mute you guys. Won't be long. There, and that way I can do this. 1, 2. Okay. Let me see if okay. It's not, doesn't like the rewind. What? Okay, that's weird. Okay, here we go.
That's a nice song. Hopefully some of you know it. And here we go.
And that's all, folks.
Yeah, that was cool.
Thank you. Thank you. You're too very kind. And yeah, and that was the best one of the three.
the one question I had.
Yes.
I'm doubled on myself twice.
Yes, give me a second. That's me.
Is that better?
Go.
Yeah, okay, cool. One question I had is, I hear the lead parts here and there, but in the middle, did you switch to playing bass and then go back to the thing, or were you always playing the synth part?
So, I was playing synth all the time.
The whole time.
In fact, if you heard any bass guitar, it was an accident.
Okay.
But I was playing the strings, the Vox Humana sound, and then the Moog bass on the verses, and on the I was doing the bass, the synth bass on those. The normal.
Oh, you had the
riff.
different strings mapped for the different patches.
No, yes, but no, because that's one of the things. It was also saturating my cognitive power, which is that I had to remember that the expression pedals had different functions depending on the tip or the toe, or the heel or the toe. So I had to keep all that in mind, as in, okay, what am I playing now? Oh shit, I forgot. I'm still on the strings now. I need to change to the other one. That's why you've heard the mistakes. So yeah, fun times. And funny, if you see, can you see my pointer? Can you see this little silver square?
Yeah.
That's the mini disc that I forgot to press record.
Oh.
I told you, I got it ready. I just forgot to press the bloody button. Hey, Crosshead, welcome. Fancy seeing you here. Cool. So, the other track, which is... I'm happy to play the other two tracks if you have the patience or the masochism. It's up to you.
Sure.
But the first one...
Play clips of them, yeah. At least a little bit. So.
The first one, I'm gonna first need to find it. In fact, let's get Robbie talking this time, because there's something I will have to explain. I'm not gonna play the whole first song because too many things went wrong, okay? But at least the beginning, so you get a grasp on what I'm gonna be explaining, okay? So once again, mute everybody. Yep. And in a minute, me. And get the audio to you people. Get this running. And mute myself.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new package for you, following on from the excellent background plan. We have these two gentlemen here, Eddie and Chris, who are known as HCO. We have a great tradition of electronic music of 3-inch backflips. This is just another one. This is human control oscillators.
Thank you. We're going to try not to disorder the tradition. And let's reconnect. Now I understand why everybody buys a Stream Deck and automizes this type of things. So
I'm repeating again.
Yes, you are. Once again, the button I always forget to press. Now go.
No, it sounded fine to me. I mean, what was wrong with it?
Fine. Jesus, what was right with it? Okay, let's start from the beginning.
I don't know what's supposed to sound like. So to me, it sounds like
thankfully, but I do, and I did, and every time I watch it, I want to go into a corner on fetal position and rock forward and backwards. So the cautionary tale. I decided to use GR55 to the biggest extent. So that guitar, although all 6 strings were on a common channel, I wasn't that crazy to go on. I tried, but it wouldn't work to go on different channels for different instruments, as in map the sounds to the strings. I opted for just control the master volume of the sounds on the rocker pedals. Okay, so all 6 strings should work. So I had the patch was basically a shakuhachi, Chinese-ish sounding violin.
Yeah.
The real guitar with tons of distortion, very creamy, very dark, to sound very soothing for a distortion guitar, and that should be it. Also had prepared panning control for the shakuhachi and the violin, and on the second part it was meant to come to synthesize the sounds, which I would also have independent volume control for left and right, and panning for from side to center. Same for the Chinese part instruments. Cautionary tale. Remember what I told that in order to change from bass mode to guitar mode, you have to reboot the unit. Right?
You didn't.
Did I?
You didn't?
Sorry, did I tell you about this or didn't I?
Yeah.
I did. Good. Problem is, the day before we had our last general practice rehearsal, right? And we played the set in set order, as in first song, second song, third song. And by the time we finished the third song, we had run out of time because we were renting the practice room. So just enough time to pack everything back, and Chris would take all the gear you see on stage. Sorry, not all, because those 2 speakers are not ours. That was the organization. Same for the mixer on top of Matt's head or behind Matt's head. But the rack on top of the chair and all the gear on the floor, that was ours. So in his car, he would bring all that shebang, because my car was full with a synthesizer collection. So pack everything quickly. Don't do anything to it as it is. The next day, unpack everything, connect, start checking. Check the guitar. It's making a sound. Yes, it's making a sound. Okay, let's go. Problem is, in my checklist is, sorry, the GR55 is still in bass mode because the third song was a bass song. So I need to reboot it to guitar mode. And I did. And I checked. It was making the shakuhachi sound, the violin sound, the guitar sound. Cool. Problem is, I forgot that when it does the reboot, GR55 has presets to save several different guitars, the settings for the GKs. Let's say you have 3 different guitars with 3 different GK pickups, right? And one of them is in normal orientation, the other one is reverse, the other one of them is a very high action, the other one is a low action. So you need to tweak those presets according to the guitar, so they all perform the same. Great. Problem is, in guitar mode, I tried to create a preset for the bass, for my 6-string bass, the one I'm hopefully going to be playing today. But sadly, that preset is preset number 1. And when you reboot the unit, it goes to guitar preset number 1. That guitar, that 6-string guitar, has a reverse pickup. Okay, so I put in, instead of putting the cable from above the bridge, doing this, it has a outside of the bridge. In fact, I might be able to. I don't know if you can see
what mode you're in before you play it. Like, is there a quick way to glance at what preset you
it
have
did.
Look at the little screen.
It did. It's a very quick. And I showed you here in the show. It's a very quick 3 seconds label that says guitar mode out.
Okay. No,
Apart from that,
which
no fucking
also,
way.
Also tells you which orientation you're using, like which.
No. Only tells you bass mode, guitar mode.
Okay.
But it doesn't remind you, hey, you're on guitar mode, preset 1, guitar 1. So I did the whole song with preset 1, which was for the bass, which is a normal pickup, which is the opposite of the one is in the guitar. That's why I spent half of the song hitting the first and second string and getting nothing.
Oh.
Because the system was trying to detect a low B note.
And when the system tries note in your hand, preset 1 for guitar.
Yeah. Or just delete the fucking bass preset in the guitar mode. So the first 10 seconds of the song, well, the first 5 seconds was, why the heck the shakuhachi is making no sound? Is it because it's too quiet? Because I'm behind the speaker? Is it because it's too trebly and I don't hear it because I'm behind the tweeter? What is going on? And trying to remember the song and trying to play the song. The next 20 seconds was, oh shit, I have the pickup reversed, so I lost 2 strings. Now I have to transpose the whole music to play it in the 3 remaining strings that would work on the guitar. And at the same time, remember to bring the shakuhachi in, bring it out, bring the violin in, bring it out, pan it to the center, pan it to the out. I don't understand how my brain didn't melt. All that in real time. So, cautionary tales. GR55 users, A, never create a bass patch in your guitar mode, and B, if you do, make your standard guitar be memory 1 if you're gonna be jumping from mode to mode, which is what most people don't do, because that's the reply I got when I made a question the 2 weeks before this in the Facebook group. It's like, okay, if I have to use both instruments, both guitars, in the same mode of 55, which one works best? Which one crosses over with less problems? And 70% of the replies was, buy a second GR55. And I went like, whoa, okay, you're saucy people. Because even now that they're obsolete, they're not cheap, those things. I mean, I think you can get them here around £300 to £400, but still, it's a ton of money for me.
You do need a backup eventually, though, right? Because it might fail or just die.
Exactly. Although that's one reason this might fail, so a backup wouldn't hurt. Also, a fly rig, because this, I call it the motherboard for a very good reason. Can you see that it's almost as big as the guitar is? Yep. That's not perspective, mate. That shit is huge. As in, 55 is a normal multi-effects pedal board size, -1, but at the side of it, I have a full GT6, which is bigger than 55. So it's a whole pedal board plus 3/4 of another whole pedal board, if you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, having a second 55 just for specific flight rigs and I'm trying to point, and the controller pedal board with the expression pedals wouldn't hurt neither for duplicity or just for smaller rigs where that setup would not fit, because I still rather bring my own mixer to have real-time control. but if we can hear us. So that's the takeaway we both had when we finished that, is that for the next gigs, we're going to invest in in-ear systems, in-ear monitoring systems. We cannot play that shit without hearing ourselves.
Also, is it a like a minute to reboot it to go between modes? I don't know, how long does it take?
Oh, you wish it's a minute. No, it's 6 minutes 30.
Oh man, so you can't really do it between songs.
That's not without MTR. No, sorry, it's not 6 minutes. It's 3 minutes. Damn. We measure with 3 minutes, a whole song basically. Yeah. And once again, and that is if you remember to then tweak everything back to where it should be, which I didn't. Luckily, when I changed to bass mode, or at least I didn't remember, although I also felt something weird with the bass on bass mode later, but I did check that it was the right preset for the right bass, because I also have 2 basses in there. So I did check that after being mortified for failing on the first song. So the second song was this. This is an original. It's gonna be the first time anybody hears it, and it's not the best performance. So, do you feel like want me to play it? Sure. So let's do the pushing buttons again. So I'm gonna get you boys out. Good, one is out already. Now I'm gonna send audio to the people out. That's the button. I'm gonna press play.
We did have to make some sacrifices to the tech gods so we could look kindly on us today. They're not behaving now, so that's okay, we'll manage. So this next one when we're ready is an original song as well, so we've written together.
So yeah, there I'm checking everything, double checking that everything's worked, that I got all the right presets, but also I am the one controlling the backing tracks, and the player and the GR55 sounds do not work at the same time. So to do one, I need to turn off the other one. So fun times.
It's gonna get better. It's gonna be a bit like this one, yeah.
Indeed.
Alright.
So if it's too loud, please tell me. I don't know how, but please tell me.
Ready to go as a pool, really? I'm ready now. It's the question. Yes, you're ready. Take it away.
And that was it. Okay. And everybody in.
So
now,
that's cool. What are you complaining about? That was cool.
You see, that's why I didn't want to do covers and I wanted to do originals, because when you effed up, nobody can tell, because they don't know how it's meant to sound like.
One of my favorite parts, the reason I was smiling so much, is Matt's wearing a nerd herder shirt and he's walking Mike Metley around the place.
I mean,
it was perfect timing.
My experience of Mr. Medley. Okay, how do I get this? Yeah, by stopping the sharing. Here, he was very well behaved.
He is. He's cool. I'm just giving him shit, but you know.
No. He's very knowledgeable. He behaved very well.
So
he spoke just enough, which I guess he was tired as hell. And I forgot. Well, sorry. What I just showed you, that was the third performance out of 4 that happened during the day, during the actual event of the showcase of the synths and stuff, and the people sharing and knowing about technology and sharing the love. Then later that at 7 p.m., because the event closed at 5 p.m., at 7 p.m. is when the actual gig happened. The one that it would take the headliners, in a way of speaking. And one of them I forgot totally was Dr. Mike. Matt. Oh my God, I can't talk. Yeah. Matt is Matt, not Mike. Mike, sorry. Mike met. Oh. I wasn't much more clear-minded or spoken back in exactly that day, so think about that.
Dr. Bob Blah Blah.
Dr. Medley, full stop. Dr. Medley. So, and his companion, which sadly I can't remember his name, that one's on me, playing a very, very interesting instrument, which, once again, weird name, finished in harp. How to put it? Let's think about a very long piece of wood, is it wood, with a full matrix of 30 or 40 something. Eigenharp.
Yeah, I have the Pico, the little one. He had the big one, and that's cool.
And that's what he played that day. Yeah. Wow, that thing is amazing.
It looks like a bassoon with a bunch of keys on it.
Yes, basically. Yes, it does. But what it surprised me with what?
With heat shields, like the Challenger used to have.
Oh, okay.
The cool thing about it is those buttons are 5-position buttons, so you have left, right, up, down, and push down.
And pressure. So same for the triggering ones, because there's a section of like a grid which is aesthetically looking like a fretboard of a guitar, and my first impression was, oh, what is this? A MIDI stick? You know the stick, right? The hardware stick?
Chapman
stick. Yeah.
Chapman stick. It looked like a digital version of that.
11 strings? That? Chapman stick is 11 strings?
You can buy it. It has to be even. It's either 8 or 10.
10, okay.
It needs to be even, because it's 2 halves. The neck is divided on bass strings and guitar strings. So the 10 is basically a 5-string guitar and a 5-string bass. And the 8 is 4 and 4 or whatever you like.
My first NAMM was 2009 when they actually launched the instrument. So I got to talk to the guys, play with one and stuff. It was pretty cool, actually.
Which one, the stick or the harp?
The Eigenharp.
The Eigenharp, okay.
And it was a weird, at the time I think it was Mac only, and it ran on sound fonts. So that was one of the limitations. You had to create a sound font if you didn't already have one of your sounds to drive it. They may have done some later development to make it more standalone, but as far as I know, the Pico I have still has the sound font software. So
this one, this much I know, it was still attached to a laptop
computer.
I don't know what for.
He's using the same stuff then. Yeah.
But it was impressive to see that you had the kind of the matrix, but I noticed that he wasn't really following guitar fret fingering schemes.
Was Mike's friends playing this, or Mike's doing this?
Friends, his friend.
Okay, I didn't think he had an icon harp, so that's cool. Yeah.
What was Mike playing? I'm sorry. I think he was
Nobody
playing.
noticed.
Yeah.
No. He was
He likes
handling the
weird
laptop.
controllers like I do, so he could have been using some weird controllers.
He was, I think, no, he was handling the laptop, the sampler, and possibly a keyboard and some kind of Matrix MPC-ish looking like, I think. Don't quote me on that because that's the gear I put the least attention on it. My ass was on the harp because I went like, oh my god, that's a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
Then after the gig, me and Andrew Longhurst's missus, we managed to push his friend to show us the instrument and to talk about it. It would be nice, although it's already a stretch, to have him talk about it in the show if we could manage that. I don't expect so, but I'm gonna try. I also tried to poke on Gaz Williams' side, which at the moment is on the air. Nothing is decided.
I got the sense from Dr. Mike that his companion is not like a very extrovert, outward guy who like doesn't perform or whatever. It sounded like.
Aren't we all?
Well, no, I mean obviously not. We're here. So he
on a Friday.
It didn't like Mike was saying like, oh, he's somebody you've never heard of kind of thing, but you know he's an excellent performer and stuff. He just isn't out there. He does his own thing, and unless you're in his circle.
Yeah, definitely.
We all know
he gave me that, but it's still very, very nice person to deal with.
That's cool.
And
I mean, any explanation of technology that's involving your fingering, that's really what you're talking about here. Expression by fingers.
Another person that it's on my book. We just need to find the marriage of when and how. It's gonna be Ian J. Cole. I want him to come in and talk about the instrument, because when I finally see the way it's handled, it's something that
it's like a guitar fretboard, so it's very familiar to guitar people. Yeah, that's why I don't have one. I don't play that much. So.
Come on, you can play, but it's a very nice alternative and, in a way of speaking, a middle point in between both worlds, being none of them. It's not a synth, it's not a keyboard, but it's neither a guitar. It has kind of looks like it has the best of both worlds. So it's just a pity that they don't have a version that you can hang on your neck, like a guitar.
You could put strap pegs on it and hang it.
Yeah.
Can you? Really?
I mean,
sure. It's wood. You just drew into it.
You're talking a keyboard, right? It's thing that's this big and just a bunch of buttons, rows of buttons. Yeah.
I mean the CS01, the little mini CS01 with the little wind controller add-on to it. People are strapping those on, and they're tiny.
Okay.
I think
all right.
controllers, even Andy's Machina. I mean, they scream to be a washboard. Just have them hanging over your chest.
Yeah.
They do indeed.
I guess an old Letterman joke. They had Buckwheat Zydeco on there doing some Zydeco, and the guy actually had a washboard in the band. And Letterman said, "I went to Juilliard on a washboard scholarship." So
don't joke. You know that? Have you seen those people put? Say what?
There probably is a washboard scholarship.
It could be by now. Yeah.
Probably in Mississippi, but don't joke because there's people.
Spoons. You gotta broaden out. You know.
I've seen people putting the washboards through tons of distortion and effects and delay and stuff, and performing with those things.
It's a cool passive device. You can do cool stuff with it. Sure.
Yeah, those death bluegrass guys are out there, aren't they?
Exactly, they are. They totally are. Yeah, let this out. Let's try to clean it a little bit. So, any questions about Synth South West that I might be able to answer?
What did you buy?
Oh, I didn't went there to buy. I don't have the budget to buy any. I mean, probably the only things my budget could afford was my collection because I already had it.
Well, then the next question, standard question, is, what was the good swag? Was there any swag? Good swag?
Well, PSN had a whole stand with basically a big chunk of what they offer in the shop. It was there to buy. I think some of the problem is. So what do you call swag?
Swag is like when you get a gift bag and it's
free stuff, yeah.
Free stuff.
Oh.
Pens and pins and bags and
these
stuff.
shows, you walk around to vendors and they'll have, anything from a little piece
I
of
get
candy
you.
to guitar picks to, I
get
go
you.
to the AES shows up in New York and the Naughties, and I got great swag. I mean, T-shirts. I love my Crane Song T-shirt and Lavery Engineering T-shirt and just all the stuff that the vendors give away. But in these days,
NAMM doesn't have many. They're awfully cheap there. So
yeah, this day and age, you get a little Hershey's Kiss or something like that, right?
Yeah. Sadly, the good old
in
days.
the
So
80s, you just got Coke and hookers. So what more could you want, right?
well, you could still ask for that. It's just a back room somewhere. So
That's it. The Arturia back room. I had a joke about the Arturia champagne room on PSN.
So sadly, I didn't had the headspace nor the time to walk around the stands to look as a viewer.
It's a multi-day event just so that everybody gets a chance to, perform and be an audience and whatnot.
So it's Synthetic. The guy it's Peter James Stevenson.
Peter James Stevens.
Stevens. That was my own site, on time, on his face. My critique. I said, "Come here. I got a good news and a bad news. Good news. This is awesome. You've done the best job, sterling job. Everything is flawless. My complaint is, it's too short. It needs to be 2 days. Because making everything we did, condensing technically 10 to 5, it was a stress on everybody. It was a stretch because most of the people going there to showcase were not spring chickens anymore. So
yeah, even Buchla and Friends is 2 days, so it works out.
Yeah,
exactly.
Making it 2 days brings about its own complications for people and all, but it's
the overnight. I get it, but at least it's also the overnight for the people which are working towards it, because we get a rest. We don't have to tear down, nor build up again.
What a super booth is a whole week, right? So
yeah, but once again, how many things are happening in super booth? How many vendors are in super booth that want a chunk of the audience?
It's only 3 days for the expo, so
yeah. Good news is I've been told, I assume officially because I think the website's up, that Synthesize in Cambridge is happening this year again. That one is a 2-day event, and I've been invited. And this time, I want to make it all about 6 oscillators. Problem is, to do it properly, I need graphic design help, because I like to at least wear a banner. Exactly. Whistle away. Sadly, I have the ideas. I could scratch some money for a small banner, and by small I mean 1.5 meter by 50, because it's if they're gonna put me in the same room they put me the previous years, it's a very small room. It doesn't need to be very big.
Well,
just
send me
be
some
an
text
Apple.
you want, and I'll send you some ideas. So
The problem is, ideas I have plenty. What I don't have is a way to put it into a file I can send out to print. That's my problem. Make it happen. So if any of you can, I beg you, please, I would help.
just has
It
to
would
be
be
PDF,
a great help.
So that's fine.
A PDF, JPEG.
More like a JPEG, yeah.
The logo for this channel?
Yeah.
Okay.
The new logo for this channel, because I wanted to start at the beginning of the year, but obviously time didn't help. I want to shy away from that icon I'm using, which is the master a masterpiece made by Synthetic.
Well, it literally took me 10 minutes, so come on.
Well, it's still more it's 10 minutes more that I could put into it.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm still trying to keep myself away from AI. And I've had at least 2 complaints already that this thing is AI made. So,
of course it is. Yeah, that's why it took less than 10 minutes. So,
but that's why the new one, and that's why I rather put a little effort in or money being available. I'd rather have it made by a person.
I'll make a couple mock-ups. You can see what you like. So,
thank you very much. I would appreciate it.
By the way,
very,
speaking
very
of your display, what were some of the
Yeah.
funnier or crazier questions or comments you got about your rig, your display that you had at the thing?
Why?
Because it's rolling rompers and stuff. People might go, "Hey, what is all this crap?"
So the weirdest question is why? Why these ones? And what's
after
going?
you finish slapping him across the face like that Batman and Robin meme,
Yeah.
it's like, because.
Why not?
No,
Well,
why not? Just because. That's
But did they follow up with that, or they just asked why and kept walking?
no. The answer to why is well that is my my midlife crisis. Other people can afford a sports car. I couldn't, so I bought a synth collection. I bought that one for 2 reasons. A, because when I started peeking my eyes and looking into eBay, I learned that probably would be the only collection that I would be able to afford for 2 reasons. One is finite. Although it has more than 45 elements.
You still have one you're trying to get, though, right? Wasn't there one that was really hard to get?
No, got it all finished.
Oh, okay, cool.
That dead and dusted. It's done.
the Japanese card.
I got it. And that was one of the juicy comments in.
Was it worth it? Yeah, that's the next question. Cards are like, yeah, you know.
You do realize you're
Game
talking.
included, fine, but if you got to pay for
Or even more insulting, what do you do with it?
Okay, questions one by one. You do realize you're talking with somebody which is this close to be diagnosed with OCD, right?
Yeah.
On top of everything, if I'm not OCD, I'm a completionist. So, was it worth it? Yes, because I had to finish. As in, abstinence syndrome had to finish. Should you buy it if you find yourself in the same case as I was? Fuck no. Don't bother. Right? Because...
A couple of them are cool.
No. And I'm going to explain you why. The Japanese card, SRJV96. Okay? So, SRJV80-96. Yeah. No, not about the whole collection. No, we're talking about...
Was that all Japanese, like, traditional instruments? Is that what they're trying to do with it?
No. You wish.
Oh, really?
I wished. Yeah. No. So, well, are you aware? Any of you, are you aware what are we talking about? The Roland JB family of items had
This week I took my XP30 off the wall, fired it up, hooked it up to VCV, and I've been just like having a wild time with it. So,
and it still works.
Well, the sound engine works fine. The keyboard, I can't say like it's bleeding red glue, but you could tell like some of the, you know, the
sticky
contacts and all. It needs work, but the fact of the matter is, I have because it comes with the the session, orchestra, and techno cards built in, and I have the vintage synths and the keys of the 60s and 70s.
Mm-hmm.
2,000 patches. That was my gigging keyboard, right? I could play anything, you know.
Yep.
But I haven't played it in several years.
So
I hooked it up, and it's wonderful. So having access to those SRJV sounds is a dream.
Yeah.
But having to deal with all the hardwares and how to program a 1080 and
no, it's a breeze. Come on. I come from the guitar world. Have you ever tried to program any Korg floor units?
Multi-timbrality, 16-part what is that? They don't. They part. They don't know.
You synth people are spoiled. You don't know what it is to try to hold in your head 5 blocks of effects with multi-effects per block, with multi-parameters per block, everything in a 2-digit screen.
Well, so you have presets in there, right?
You got one button and an LED, you know. 15. Oh, I got to start all over. Yeah.
Exactly. More like that. So you synth people are a bunch of sissies.
But even something like my old Digitech rack unit, which had just a simple LED display and some lights, you had presets. You could tweak stuff and store things and make it the way you like.
Yeah, but that's my point.
Create a preset.
Oh no, creating was pain, but I mean, once you create it, then hey, you're done. So
yeah,
my new toy is a Matrix 1000 that I got a great deal on last week. I get 3 digits with that because it's holds 1,000 presets, right? But programming it, not so much. But I have a box.
I mean, the guitar stuff you're talking about is still much easier for most people than modular Eurorack stuff, right? Most people have a nightmare when they see wires and paths they can't trace. I think it's easy, but it's also really weird for most people. So
no, in an analog machine, you see everything.
Yeah.
On one of those floor units, you don't see anything. It's everything behind. It's
like going from an LED.
It's like a DX7 on steroids. Okay.
But I had a lot of digital modules too, and they're still menu divey and stuff. So not everything modular is,
That's why he doesn't do it. He goes for the analog one, wise man. So from the top, just one by one. You just fired up your XP. That's the other reason why I went for the JB collection, because I thought, wait, this is digital, fully digital, means it's going to run cooler than the analogs, because one of the reasons the analogs break so often is because the circuits are hot all the time, right? So has a bigger probability to last longer because it runs cooler. Plus, I hope that most of the chips are common chips, so whatever. And if they die, at least when they started the collection, it shouldn't be too hard to buy the same item again, because they were manufactured by the thousands. Good.
Capacitors for the cards.
Yeah, exactly. So the ones going back to the SRJBs, the JB line of synthesizers came with 3 types of expansions, as in what I call the dresses for the Barbie doll. Buying the Barbie is not enough. You have to buy the dress and the Kent and the house and the pony, right? The first one was inherited from the previous generation. Very square, small cars with PCM sounds and patches built from those PCM sounds inside the card, right? Which is a new set, a small one, but a new set of extra samples. The second one was on the format of the memory cards, which I don't have anyone to hand. The almost V-seat size card Roland that they use for where you could store your own patches. I don't know how expensive they were back in the day, but nowadays they're stupidly expensive, right? On the same type of card, but instead of being a writable with a battery
you have the two slots. You have a ROM and a RAM card. So
depending which device, but yes.
Yeah.
On the JVs, if you have those 2 slots, one is for PCMs and the other one is for patch, for this type of cards. Yeah. So they sold ROM versions of those cards with patches already built in, but no samples. So you basically were buying settings for the samples you already had. Okay? So different settings, different rearrangement of the engine, but for the same sample set. Problem is those cards were also sold accordingly to the SRJBs, which was a chip that you have to plug in the motherboard, usually on the back, on the rack units on the top. Those are the SRJB80s. And those ones came with a new set of PCM waves, patches with those PCM waves, performances with those patches, and drum samples, and and a new drum kit, right?
Oh,
usually
fun programming the drum kits. I built a VCV rack to play the drums.
Yeah, but it's I think it's
the key on the keyboard is a different sound. So.
Exactly, it's basically a sampler. So those RJBs. Some of the data cards, the ones that look like memory cards, had to have the sRGB expansion, because there were patches for those PCM samples, right? So if you don't have both, the data card would not work, would not make any sound, or it would give you garbled sounds with the PCMs you had in store. Great. I have those. I have all the PCM expansions. I have all the PN expansions, the memory expansions, and I have all the sRGBs. The sRGBs, they started trying to expand the sample set of the JBs, things that didn't came from factory. And they saw the market of specialized cards on specific styles. So there's a country card, there's a hip hop card, there's a dance card, there's a techno card, and then expansions of samples of synthesizers, the vintage.
Emu did the same thing with the Proteus ROMs.
Exactly.
Yep.
They was just following the market. At this point, I don't know who was first, but I pretty sure it was like in one month to the other, they were all fighting to get the money. Well, when the rack units started being popular, and I don't know if they started doing this with the first rack unit, the JV880, or they started with the Super JV, the 1080, some merchants, some shops were provided or allowed to give sRGB cards, as specific ones called experience cards, free with the rack unit. Because the rack units, namely 1080 and 2080, came with multiple docking slots for those sRGBs. So you could have more than one plugged. 4 for the 1080, 8 for the 2080, 1 for the 880, and 1 for the 1010. All right. So those experience sRGBs 97, 98, and 99 came free with the rack units in some bundles. Okay?
I got one.
But, yeah. And those were potpourris, selection, a curated selection of all the cards in the market at the time that experience card was released, to give you a taster so you would go and buy the full card of the sounds you like. Which I don't think neither of the cards were good bang for the buck, because all of them have a lot of fodder, a lot of filling. Okay? Because although there were only 4 megabytes the first generation, 8 megabytes the second generation, they still put a lot of patches that were very meh. As in, okay, yeah, this is nice, but I'm never going to use this shit. So, the Japanese market released, that's what I know, obviously I could be wrong, released the Experience 96 sRGB 8096, called Latin World, I guess, I think, for free as a promotional item inside the JB1010, which is a half rack, 1U rack, half rack desktop equivalent of a JB. And everybody thinks, when you see that the 1010 is a strong 1080 or an 880. It is a 1080, it's a full 1080 with all the effects power of the 2080, but just on half rack. What you don't have is the editing power, because once again, 3-digit LCD screen, 3 wheels and a pusher, and that's it.
My XP30 is my first pro synth, but really it was a 1010 because we had a Yamaha Clavinova house piano, and I got the 1010 and I could hook that up with that turn off local on with the piano.
And how not?
And I bet I had that because I knew that there was an experience card I had. I don't have it anymore because I sold the 1010. But basically, like, oh, I love this. You know, what's the keyboard version? And that was the XP30, and off we went. So,
confusingly enough, Experience 1, as in no number, Experience was 99. sRGB 8099. Yeah. Experience 2 was 98. Experience 3 was 97.
I love the countdown. That's great.
I love it. So the last one of the series of Experience cards was 96 World Collection Latin. It was only released as a add-on for the 1010 units in the Japanese market, because 1010s only can hold one slot, because they have one other card, the Session, thank you. The Session, the chip is built into the motherboard. You cannot extract it.
96 on Reverb or eBay. It's super rare, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it was only released for the Japanese market.
Sessions is on the dial too when you're choosing your banks.
It's one of the banks.
Yeah.
Okay. So why was that card Japan market only? And why is it called once again World Collection Latin? And why you should not bother trying to fetch it unless you're a stupid completionist as I am, and you need to finish the bloody thing.
But you're damn proud of it, so
it's going to be like Timberwolf. It's going to be worth millions someday because it's
exactly, so rare. Exactly. So why? Why? Because sRJB 8096 is a clone, not a copy, not curated, not an extract, not a taster. It's a clone of. My phone keeps shutting off. sRJB 8018 Latin is the same card. No difference. Same patches on the same numbers with the same settings. It's a copy-paste job with Japanese. Everything. It's a clone. Nothing different between those two cards. That's why they made it Japan only. Because they were saying to the rest of the world, haha, you morons, you had to pay for it. We had it for free.
You think that's it? Or do you think
and that's the only reason?
It's like Ken Spong ordering patch cables and, oh, we got, instead of 1,000 Latin, we got 10,000 Latins. What do we do?
I was going to say, too, why would the Japanese market want so much Latin stuff? So
well, we know that. For the
because
dancing,
to them, those are exotic instruments. A shakuhachi for a Japanese guy is just...
Well, so a bunch of other instruments.
Like a banjo for an American person. It's like, what's weird about it?
I mean, for them, a harmonica is exotic as well, since it's not from Japan. So.
Exactly. So what is in the 90s, what is the most eccentric, most desirable sound set that the Japanese market would want to buy with a small unit? The Latin one. All the cavazas and all the guidos and all the brass.
I would think Indian and African would be interesting for them too, but I don't know.
Indian, African possibly. I don't think Indian. And in fact, African, is there a card? There's a world card that has a little bit of African instruments.
Yeah.
You got an Asian card. As although the Celt card is in the orchestra second card. There's a country, hip-hop, bass and drum session, keyboard, super sound set, the world card, and then everything is just... Funny enough, the first card I got, because it was the cheapest, I started with the cheapest just to see what was the deal about, is the number 10, called bass and drums. It's the cheapest of them all in the world. Nobody wants them. And if you ask me, that is the bang for the buck, quality of the patches, quality of the sounds, quality of the samples, and usability of what's inside the card is the best card of the whole collection.
See, it made no sense to me only because you had all those drum kits built in.
How many drum kits? As in the factory units, and that one of the weird things about the JB line. First of all, they claim they're 16-part multitimbral. No, they're not. Sorry, the originals were 8 parts multitimbral. No, they're not. They're 7+1. Okay?
They dedicate channel 10 to the drum part.
The 8th part multitimbral can only be drums, and the previous 7 cannot be drums, so they're not fully multitimbral. They're not really multitimbral. And if they are, 7+1. And on the 1018, 2080, when they went 16 parts multitimbral, it's 15+1.
Didn't they have any special rhythm patches that were splits that could be used in one of those other slots?
No, if you want to use drum kits,
not the kits, but I mean like a standalone with maybe a split of 2 percussion sounds or something.
But once again, you need to understand that at this point of sampling of Rompler history, percussion sounds, as in chromatic, and drum kits are 2 separate entities.
No, but EMU would do programming on stuff like that, where you would get...
Roland would not. If you want a drum kit, kick drum plus a snare plus cymbals, that was one patch, that was one part multi-timbral. If you want to also use anything chromatic at the same time, which is already kind of stupid, because, I mean, you change the key, you're playing a different drum item, right? But if you wanted to do that, the only way to do it was through a performance.
Well, for like a timpani, it's a pitched drum, right? So
if you go for pitch stuff, then yes, you can use a chromatic pitch stuff and another chromatic instruments, which is one of the 7 or one of the 15 multi-timbral parts that the units had. But neither of them, in fact, the only one that was closer to be real multi-timbral was the keyboards 30, 35, and 50, which were not LA synthesis engines. They were GS engines.
Yeah, I mean, my friend had a JB30. It was very limited.
You could not
basically sound canvas without some of the fun.
Because it is. That's exactly what they are. And I have no proof. I'm still hoping that somebody comes and tells me from a reputable source why, but my reading between the lines theory, why those GS units and the LA units were both labeled JV, is because they both use the same sample set.
Yeah, the General MIDI stuff is identical, so
it's not General MIDI, it's GS. It's expanded, it's improved.
But it's based around General MIDI because they have this helicopter, the footsteps, the punching
it's
sound.
It is organized as General MIDI and it's based on the sound canvas engine. Being the JV LA synthesis LA log linear arithmetic, I think, or algorithmic. Don't remember right now. Arithmetic. Yeah. Linear arithmetic of the every rack unit and the 80,090 is that those can use 4 partials per sound per patch, and all 4 partials could come from a sample from a PCM. That's the main difference. In the GS unit, they all sound like you're using only one single partial. 2 tops, and that's pushing me. I don't really believe, because if they're using 2 partials, only one of them is sample and the other one is digital subtractive.
And they're super limited too. You couldn't have a filter envelope, so you'd have to manually move the cutoff.
Yes,
JB30.
Yeah, you could that, but you still.
Some were hard coded with the sweep sound, but if you try to do tweak any kind of
LFO,
you had to manually tweak the stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna stop there because I can't remember. I think you could.
Maybe there's a buried thing in there, but it's no fun to use it.
I think you had one LFO per patch that you can only address to one single thing.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that. But what is real is that you could not create patches from scratch from the PCM wave. The only thing you could do is the factory patches, the 127 per bank patches, you could modify, and you could only store by deleting the original. So you had to, although you could go factory reset and reload all the factory presets, if you wanted to save a change of one of those presets, you have to kill one of the factories.
That's why the stuff like Vision and Easy Vision, stuff like that was great, because you could store sysx stuff and load it back real quick. So,
but in the other side, all the GSs from factory without expansions, they all were 16 parts, half multi-timbral. 2 of those parts, not 1 but 2, could be drum kits. One could be a drum kit and the other one a percussion drum kit, right? And I believe that it's not only like in the rack units, in the 8 parts multitimbral, part 8 is the drum part, and in the 16 part multitimbrals, I think it's part 10 is the drum part, right? In the GSs, any of the 16 could be chromatic or drum kit, but the only limitation that you could only have 2 of the 16 parts being drum kits, no more than 2. That was the limitation. So in a way, the cheaper models, the sound canvases, were more fully multitimbral than the flagship ones were. On your XP, how many parts multitimbrals do you had?
16.
Real 16 or 15 plus 1?
Well, yeah, I'll say 15 plus 1 because
Okay.
channel 10 is dedicated for
Drum kits.
And on the
Yeah.
keyboard itself, you hit a button called rhythm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and you go
the same.
into that channel 10 automatically, and then
Yeah.
you can dial through the different kits.
Although,
But that's where like every note is a different drum instrument.
Yeah.
Whatever.
although if I'm not mistaken, at least the JBs, I cannot speak for the XPs, part number 10 was the rhythm one, but you could assign part number 10 to any of the 16 MIDI channels. You could remap that part to be a different MIDI channel than MIDI channel 10. It was 10 by default. It was part 10.
I think in the industry back then, because multi-timbral synths were a lot more de rigueur than they are now. And
Yeah, but
16-part multi-timbral, so the industry decided channel 10 is for drums.
Yeah.
And that, everybody locked into that, and you're programming whatever drums, but that 10 is for drums, and then whatever else you've got is going on. And
because
I don't know how much that mattered, but for
it did.
the people who worked in that, like if you were making soundtracks and you had racks of these Proteuses and JVs and all these things wired up, and you make complex orchestras out of them.
But
you'd want like, okay, everybody on 10 is at that, and I'll let you know this is it and that.
You guys were there. I wasn't, so please correct me. What I understand for what I learned when I was researching the subject is the whole general MIDI implementation, which is nothing but a mapping of which type of sound should be in which of the PC message destinations, 0 to 127, I guess, or 1 to 128, was created exclusively to please the computer music industry that was a little very much bothered because of the extra work and the extra capacity on the formats of the time of not having a standardization or what MIDI channel would trigger what type of instrument depending on the sound card that you would attach to the computer. Because once again, we're still talking about when computers could have an inbuilt sound card, but they all sounded like shit. So many people would use an external sound card or a synthesizer, digital multitimbral synthesizer, to play the sounds of the video games.
You had sound blasters.
Yeah, but first generation Sound Blaster sounded like shit compared to the MT32 even.
Yeah, but we didn't have MT32s. We had Sound Blasters.
Well, some people did apparently. But
my
that
friend
was
had MT32, but for games, it was tricky because when like King's Quest played beautiful music through it, but when it had to do sound effects, it couldn't pull from the samples and the MT30 at the same time. It was either or. So when someone did like a magic wand, it would pick up some random like dink sound or something like that. That didn't really work,
And that was the reason. The fact that the developers of the video games had to triplicate their efforts, having to design a soundtrack for this graphics for Roland, a soundtrack for Yamaha, a soundtrack for Sound Blaster. Said, okay, make up your freaking minds. Let's make one pattern, one map. So quality aside, that's up to the customer. But at least if I program a flute, I don't want it to sound like a tambourine. or like an organ, a church organ.
The guys who make the Scum VM emulator to do the King's Quest and Space Quest games, as well as the LucasArts games, figured out a way around that, so you could still get the high quality instruments, sound canvas style, and also access the samples of the game to get the sound effects. It's pretty clever what they've done with that.
Cool, because we're talking about a game that probably first generation of games that came with its own samples digitally in the card, format. I don't know if they were
on the
using...
Mac version they would have all the sounds. So the PC had to go to a weird sound card. So
okay, yeah. PC at that time was a little behind always, because they couldn't agree with that standard. But
like Mac games were playing Redbook audio off of CD-ROMs, and PCs were still going through the sound card. So
yeah, exactly. So that's why the whole general MIDI mapping was created, to my knowledge, and the GS JVs, they have their instruments programmed or stored on a general MIDI fashion, as you start with the pianos and then the marimbas and then the organs and then the flutes. I can't remember exactly, but on a very much general MIDI, because that was one of the markets. Is the I don't know, kid that wanted to have a keyboard to play with his band, but also a sound card to play his video games through. So, and the GS units were all MIDI-wise 16 parts full on, like sound canvases. Basically, well, I hope you know, sound canvas, the MIDI is fully open, all the channels are open, all the channels are listening all the time. Is you or the source material that needs to choose one channel, and then the sound canvas only gets signal in that channel, because that's the only signal is sending. If you had a keyboard that would send Omni, I don't know if anybody built that ever, but it's likely. And you attach it to a sound canvas or one of those JVGSs, the 30, 35, and 50, you will basically be playing all the time 16 channels of MIDI, of 16 instruments, because there's no way to turn them off on the GSs. On the JVs, you can remap them, so you can make that all the channels listen to all the parts, multi-timbral parts listen to one single MIDI channel, so the MIDI channels not assigned would not make a sound. But you couldn't do it on the GSs. The GSs were 16 parts all the time. And I brought to another funky thing, which came to the fourth type of expansion that the JB created. And I don't know if the XPs had the chance of having the voice expansions. Do you remember those?
No.
So
there's no hardware expansion other than.
Were those also little PC card style things?
Same connector as the sRJV80s.
Oh,
okay.
Same as those. Okay.
It's the same connector, just a different shape of board, of PCB. But
some are like curved and kind of fanned out, and some are square, right? Or rectangular.
The square one is the one I'm talking about. Yeah. The butterfly looking one, that's the one that only had samples. Yeah. Samples.
The more square one is like the one in the JD990, right?
I'm not sure about that, because the previous generations used square shaped cards. Okay. So for this one, the voice expansions, so the first blurb that they released was that you could, on the JB1000 and JB90 first, and then 35 and 50 later, months later or a year later, you could get a JV80 and plug it into JB1000, multiplying the available voices of polyphony, the available parts of multitimbrality, and the available banks for storage, both ROM and RAM, as in user and factory. So technically you were plugging a second synthesizer inside your synthesizer. For instance, if you do that with the SIJB, with the voice expansion of the JB80 on 1000, 1000 is 8 parts multitimbral, you would get 16 parts multitimbral. Sorry, 14 plus 2. Yes. Yeah, 7, 14 plus 2. Yeah.
So they still kept, they had 2 different rhythm tracks then?
Then you can have 2 drum kits going on at once. And in the case of the JB1000, it also had, I think, I'm getting confused because 1090 had 4 ports MIDI, 4 5-pin connectors. One of them had an external out, so had an in, a through, and an in and out and a through, and a second out, and I think that was the 1000 because of the sequencer. So you could get the data from the sequencer on its own cable out of the keyboard to control the rest of your stuff. And on 90, it had a secondary in to get external data into the secondary synthesizer you plugged with the voice expansion. The funky bit came when they did the first voice expansion is to put a 2 80s in 180 on top of the 1000 or on top of the 90. But then they decided to get one JB30, the GS variant with 16 parts multitimbral, 13 plus 2, kind of, well, 16 full multitimbral, and put that into a voice expansion. So if you had a 1000, which is basic, on very wrong general terms, is a JB80 engine. It's wrong because it can do things different and better things that the JT can't do. But you could put a 30 plugged inside. So you got the original 8 plus 16 extras. So suddenly, how much is that? That's 24, right? So you got a keyboard with 24 parts multitimbral and 3 drum kits available. Mental. But obviously, doing that, getting the sound canvas engine to work on a more complex, more elaborate Rompler engine like LA was easy. The funky business is when they decided to do the voice expansion card for 35 and 50 from the 80. So from a 4 partial engine to a 1 single partial engine. I don't know how they do it. The fact is, it doesn't really exist. It's not the same card. They had to make a JB3550 exclusive JV80 voice expansion that would work under Sound Canvas engine. But the JB30 voice expansion would still work in 35 and 50. So you would get, if 24 parts multitimbral is not enough for you, you get a 50, the flagship. I can explain why that's a joke.
And the interface wouldn't change. It would be the same thing, just more parts.
Exactly.
Okay.
It had extra keys to address those parts, but basically you go from a 16 to a 32 parts multitimbral.
Yeah.
That's bonkers. You get extra storage. Even less in the small 2-line, I think it's 21 or 27 characters, LCD displays of the JB50.
Yeah.
Bonkers. But once again, you want multitimbrality? There you go.
I danced that dance with my Proteus collection last year. And I got VCV patches to play them each. And I just went to 8-part multitimbral for each one because they're designed so that each part is picking 2 different samples. So you like, okay, I want to use this sample and that. And then when you go to the next part, it's like, well, I've already used those 2, so I want to pick a different pair. And of course, you've got this little teeny tiny interface, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, they're exclusive.
Well, use ProDatum. You know ProDatum? Use that app.
I couldn't, yeah, nothing like
I
that.
love ProDatum.
Right. But basically, yeah. So I did it to say that I've done it, and to say that I'll never do it again. Because man, it was work. Yeah, if you want to pick certain voices and all, they're great for that. But to take advantage of them as a sort of single box can be your orchestra or whatever.
Because like on the command stations in the Proteus 2000, 2500, if you don't use ProDatum, it's very hard to use all the patch cable features, the virtual patch cables that really have a lot of the power on that box.
Yep.
That's why most people never use them.
Sure. And an analogy is my Matrix 1000 here. So I put my Terratec chip in it yesterday after watching the Oberheim Alex Ball presentation, and I hook it up. And one thing the Terratec does is make it respond to real-time commands better. So I have the Kiwi patch editor, talks Matrix 1000, plug it in, and I'm just dancing those envelopes and all. And it only handles a subset of all the parameters the Matrix has, but it was enough to make things very.
And it's not steppy like the Juno controllers and stuff like that, like the PG300 and stuff like that, which is very steppy.
It didn't feel that way, but it's got its own little weirdnesses too. I mean, but it's compared to what it out of the box what it was, it's nice.
Because when you get one of those PGs, you think, oh, now I have all this control over my D50 and my Alpha Juno and all this kind of stuff, and then you start using the controls real time, and it's all glitchy and weird. It's meant to be set, play, set, play, set, play.
Like today, after we were talking about the PG8X on PSN, I fired that up in VCV, and I was playing that, and the same thing is like, oh, this is just so nice and smooth, and I could imagine the hardware that crackle, crackle, crackle. And but yeah,
it's the way they designed it to communicate. It wasn't real time updates, so it would make glitches.
That's it. But the new chip helps, and it's a lot of fun now. But the thing is, it's that whole, it now makes it playable, where before you're picking a preset and you're playing that, and you can play with the mod wheel, and but it's hard to get to the guts of the parameters.
Yeah.
Even just a filter cutoff knob, you don't have that.
I forgot. There's no
macro knob or anything in these old.
I haven't touched my Matrix 6 in a long time. There's no aftertouch on that, is there? The 1000 or the 6?
You can't quote me on that.
I can't remember. It's been a while. I gotta.
Sure.
Well, if none of you remember, it's probably not there.
Got the guitar modes too, so
No, it just depends because I haven't used it probably since like 2010 or something like that. So it's.
Yeah. Guys, not that anybody is left watching. Shall we close?
We've got two people.
Well, one of them is me, so.
But one of us is me too. Is there only two left?
Oh,
there's only one.
Yeah, me. I'm there.
You're in there too. So the three of us are watching each other. So.
So
like
sadly,
spy.
Yeah,
all just watching each other.
You're joking. I just read this week a news that the Russian government either put in jail or deported British citizens on the accusation of espionage. This last week.
Sure.
Hey, in this U.S., we're doing it to each other, our own citizens. So, which is worse.
Well, Alex is worse, but hey, let's not go into that. So
I was thinking if you wanted to get a cheap trip to Superbooth, you just go to the airport and tell TSA that both your parents are German citizens, and they'll put you on a plane right away. That's it.
Would it work?
Give it a
I don't
shot.
buy that.
Nah.
You have not been to an airport lately, have you?
You are so correct in that statement. Nor am I likely to.
Don't try. And if you do, I think in America they recommend you 2 hours prior to the departure.
It's always
try 4
for international.
Try 4.
It's better now because the TSA guys got paid finally. So.
What?
I mean, it's a Band-Aid. Yeah, they were not getting paid. There was a government glitch, and no one was getting paid.
It wasn't a glitch. It was just.
But, I mean, the Democrats didn't want to approve the bill that gave a bunch of stuff to ICE people and stuff like that, so they held it up. So
it was a
Trump bailed them out. They said, "Well, here's some temporary money until we figure this whole thing out." But who knows in a month or two what it's going to look like. So.
My comment was more on the line that to Mr. Chrome is that going through an airport has changed so dramatically much in the last decade, or from the last time you used an airplane, that it would take you so long to fix all your mistakes and catch up with their claimings that please go with 4 hours in advance.
Well, this is why in this country you have to get TSA pre and TSA clear. You pay for it, you get checked, and you can walk right through the shit. It's great.
Okay, but you have to
pay money.
That.
You got to pay money, but I think it lasts at least 5 years, maybe 10 years. I forgot.
It's worth it.
Here is not that much, and if you go to one of the main airports, the queues are stupid because obviously we all move at the same time. We all go to it's like this, how you call it, Easter holidays, migration, summer holidays, migration.
Do you guys have to take your shoes off when you go through the check?
Depending on what type of shoes are you wearing, yes.
Oh, okay.
So if anything that might beep, so anything containing any type of metal, yeah, take them off.
And I have to take. I always travel with gear, right? So of course I look like a bomb in my backpack. So I take everything out.
Tell me about it.
That's so annoying.
But if you're seeing the X-rays, because they're not X-rays anymore, it's way more complex. Machines that are using lately, they not only can. They're color-coded.
Multicolored, yeah. I've seen them.
So they can see materials, but they can see layers. They can zoom in on a specific level, depth of your luggage to check. And if that doesn't work, then is when they stop you and to make you open the luggage.
That happens to me all the time. I'm always, hey, bring your bag over here. I'm like, oh, shit.
What the fuck is in here? Oh, sorry, this and this and this. Oh,
metal this,
I play
metal
music.
That, batteries, wires, all that shit. So yeah.
I don't know how hard on are they in America, but in Europe, I've heard whispers that they've been just said, oh, no, I just play music, I'm a DJ or I'm a musician. Say, okay, so all this makes sense, go on. It's faster. It's like they are aware of the type of materials that go through them.
Oh, these guys don't care.
They've seen it all. Yeah.
Not only they've seen it all, but lately they're being trained to not trigger the warning just because there's a lot of wires inside. Because by now, everybody's carrying a laptop or a tablet, chargers, phones.
So if you're a terrorist, just say you're a DJ.
Yeah, exactly.
The problem is,
they say you're Guetta. Oh, you are a terrorist. So David Guetta.
It is. The problem is the new multicolor ones detect chemicals.
Yeah.
So if you have the explosive, unless you have an uncombined explosive, one of those two parts that you need to make it bang, unless you have one of those that they don't know about, it's gonna flash like a beacon. It's not, as I said, it's not the PCBs anymore. It's not the wires anymore. It's the chemicals that make them.
Yeah, but they just see clutter and they think mess, and they just want to. But you should have seen the checkpoint at Forbidden City at Tiananmen Square. They pulled everything out of my bag and like, what is this? I said, that's a little tripod for a camera. They're like, I'm like, you make those here. You don't know what a tripod is?
I bought it from you.
Yeah.
I bought it from, that's crazy. So, not that I'm saving anybody, but I think this is a good measure. Once again, I failed to talk about the main subject of the show, so sorry for the later viewers. If my friend Guitar Fool and Mr. Roy Boyd would help me on the next installment of the show, I would like to make it all about the Axon, telling a little bit about the history, showing, although this is the one I have. Sorry for the bad pixelated picture, but that's the only one I could get for free.
What do you recommend these days to get? If I've never had one before, what do you recommend?
They don't make them anymore.
Used.
So
if I can find one used, what do I get?
I assume Guitar Fool is going to recommend you to get the AX100.
Yeah.
The full 1-unit rack for many reasons. Okay. But until I compare them, which is never going to happen because I'm not going to buy the 100. So luckily with the help of my co-host, we'll be able remotely to try to see what are the weak points of both, I would suggest to get to the Yamaha. I can't remember, cannot tell you now the model. I'll tell you outside camera or another point. I got one from Yamaha, 13-pin tech, but also guitar input tech. It would detect pitch to MIDI from the 1/4-inch guitar. And it's extremely good tracking.
So
I
it's only
didn't
one
believe...
string at a time, right?
No, it's all 6 strings. You cannot separate MIDI channels. You cannot play chords. It's monophonic if you do it through the 1/4-inch.
I mean, you can only play one string at a time.
Yeah, one note at a time, yes. But for that is what you have the GK or Yamaha variant of 13-pin cable. I still haven't finished to tweak all the settings for my Roland GK3 pickup, but the times I played it, as in plug and play, not really tweaking, the tracking is twice as good as the GR55. It's amazingly fast and accurate on the tracking, very little mistriggerings, very little artifacts, and that's on a very quick 30-minute plug in, out, turn it off, and put it away, right? So I have very
the
big...
Axon stuff, if you do get like a good X100, whatever, but since they're kind of rare and no one really sells them anymore, if they go south, you just have to buy another one, or can people service them?
Yeah. No, I assume that the first one is the first case.
I have never found any information like service manuals or service docs on them at all. I've got the original blue chip one, and those were made back in the 90s.
Wow.
You know, and I mean, it still works really, really well.
So you don't think a repair shop that's a little more advanced would be able to fix it? They would.
I don't know how many of them they made. But Blue Chip, it was a German company that made them, and they went extinct. And I forget, was it who was it took over?
Terratec. That's the one I'm showing, although it's very blur.
When did they quit making those?
I think 3 years later.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They both went down though, because Terratec was also on the way out, and they thought that buying the Axon IP would save them, but no, it didn't.
Mine's 26 years old. It still works fine.
That's cool. How about that Yamaha one that you're talking about, Eddie? How old is that one, and they still make those, or are they?
I need to research on when was it made. No, Yamaha. I think Yamaha dropped the synth guitar tech. All of the few little attempts they did, I think they dropped everything in the 90s, if not the 2000s, the noughties, the 2000s.
What was the one you were talking about?
When the rappers took over the guitar solos.
Yes.
There was somebody that's making one now. What is that? It's built into a guitar. It's built. You were talking. It was 2 months ago. You were talking about a guitar that's basically a synth controller, but all the electronics are inside.
Huh.
What was it?
The one with the touchscreen?
Isn't that a new
No,
one?
it was an electric guitar.
Yes.
But with basically all of the stuff we talk about, the pickup and the electronics, all inside the guitar.
The only one I know is not new, is very old, is the Casio. The Casio.
It's a legitimate guitar. It's a nice instrument, but you can buy you can buy just the circuit boards from them.
The PG380 is a good thing. It's made by
No,
right? Yeah.
No, it's not a brand that I've ever heard of.
Stop it. One thing at a time.
I just spoke
one answer at a time.
Okay.
The Casios were very nice guitars, the top of the range ones, right? They did wooden Super Strats, Floyd Rose guitars, very, very nice ones, and they had all the electronics inside. But those died in the late 80s?
No, I'm talking about one that's being made now.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I'm trying to think about.
It's a new one. They're making it now. I just found it. You mentioned it a couple of months ago, and I looked them up, and there it was.
So,
you know if they were at NAMM?
About that, but
no.
That Garen just got for his synthesizer, and it's an XY pad that he wanted, but it was originally like for guitars. The idea is you put an XY pad, carve out a.
The Chaos pad, the mini Chaos pad.
No, it's not Chaos.
It's a custom thing. Yeah, it's a
custom
thing. And he adapted it for his complete controller.
This is a guitar. It's a guitar. Hex pickup, no buttons. It's like an electric guitar.
But I thought it was something else.
Wait.
NAMM or something where it's not.
Wait, no. Wait. Hexaphonic pickup. Once again, the only hexaphonic built in. Okay, first of all, it's not the Line 6, is it? The Axe. What's the name for it?
No, it's not. It's not like a brand name. It's. I'll have to get back to you on that.
The iGuitar that I had that also got stolen, that was fairly recent, but I think they don't make those anymore. The Brian Moore iGuitar.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
Yeah. But it was excellent.
Weird. With an hexaphonic built in, because the only ones I'm aware were Fender ones. Well, Roland first, but then made by Fender, were Stratocasters. They were called Roland Readies, and they were built with a GK3 built inside.
Really?
Now, yes. To the point that is the only GK3 pickup, as in the piece that you attach under the strings, that it was white color. You could not buy it on white if it didn't came built into the Stratocaster guitar. That was the only way to get the pickup in white. And obviously you didn't have the add-on, the attachment with all the controls. They were all embedded into the pickguard.
Well, you could paint it white, I guess.
Of course you can.
I'll have to look for it, but anyway, it's.
I'm trying to think.
I mean, it's
with everything inside.
Was it in the Discord?
It's
brand new.
It's a big circuit board, but it's like a semi, sort of like a Strat.
Did one post it in the Discord?
Big circuit board.
I'll have to. I've got it bookmarked on my other machine, not on this one.
Yes. Please put me out of my misery, because now I'm freaking out. I don't remember anything newer than 20 years.
Do you remember if it was expensive? Was it pretty pricey?
I don't think it was that bad, but what I liked about it is you could buy just the parts of it.
Oh,
okay.
Just the circuit board.
You can buy a chassis-less GK3, which is the pickup with the wire, so you can shove it into your control cavity. Then the 13-pin connector with the PCBs is already small PCBs because it's designed to go inside the cavities of a solid body. You can buy that, but it's not a guitar with it. You have to buy separate and put together.
Right.
Unless you're talking about the Godins, the GTAs, Les Paul looking-ish, or acoustic looking-ish, a steel string or nylon string that come with a piezo bridge and a 13-pin connector. That, to my knowledge, is the only branded manufacturer that at these days is still making GK3 built-in guitars. Whole guitar.
I remember this had a lot more than just the pickup in it. It was.
I feel like I've heard something in recent times.
Yeah.
About that.
That's what drifted me away.
Exactly. It was all like DIY practically.
Anyway, I'll have to look it up, and we can talk about that next month.
Before you came to the show and on a previous episode, we showed there's I think it's Irish manufacturer that is building a brand new at this time MIDI controller on bass guitars or 6-string guitar or even 7-string guitar.
That might have been it.
But he's using both a touchpad for modulation but he's not using hexaphonic divided or bridge pickup, I don't think, because his whole shtick is because he's using the circuit grounding fretboard. So but you have on this part of the guitar, you had a screen with the controls for the MIDI mapping, on this part of the guitar, well, on what it would be on the guitar, because there's no room left, it would have a touch surface to do the modulations, and also controls here for the guitar and the MIDI. But that one comes with built-in sounds. Later on, what we did is the one that the guy from Pendulum is using, which is forget about strings. It's stringless. It's very similar to the Yamaha Easy Guitar that Synthetic has.
Yeah.
So you have a neck of buttons.
Yeah.
So the neck is basically buttons, but what? I knew it wouldn't. Yeah. You don't want this one to fall on anything. Trust me. It's the heaviest guitar I have. Well, bass guitar, 6-string. So where the strings, the strumming string should be, all of the guitar body is a touchpad.
Yeah, Guitar Hero.
No. Guitar Hero is buttons with a fake plectrum. I have them. I have them as well.
You get more than 4 buttons. They're usable, but they are
5.
gimmicky. So
there are five buttons on the next. Where?
I posted a link in the private chat. I think this is what Garen got.
Amp Lone Lab.
Yeah, the XY MIDI pad.
Oh.
And they're asking for the guitar, but he basically wanted an XY controller.
Let me see if I can share this. Let me do the thing. Because first of all, I'm talking to Synthetic. Let me try to finish this conversation. So this is the AX50. You have no editing control. This LCD is just to tell you which patch are you using, one of the 127 memories. You have full MIDI implementation in, out, and through. A jack 1/4-inch guitar out, because on GK3 you're sending both the divided pickup and the standard pickups. So to process your standard pickups apart from the MIDI, that's what that jack is USB, which I don't know if the AX100 is USB connected. Is it? Guitar full?
Which one? The Axon?
The one you have, the Axon. That's
it's got a regular guitar output too.
No, USB connection for the computer. Do you have it? Or is it RS-232?
Oh, there's no RS-2. Let me look at the back.
I say if it's that old, he said it was pretty old. It shouldn't have any USB.
That's one of the things the Terratec implemented into the tech is the USB. That's why I'm asking, because probably he doesn't have it. Either he doesn't have any computer connection at all, or his is other than USB.
Is this how you program the presets, the USB? Because otherwise, how do you set which string?
And that's what I'm getting to. So this is the hardware, but to do everything in the unit, you need to use this, which is the software. I think it was designed for Windows XP, but I'm running it under Windows 11 on compatibility mode. But this is kind of the basics of the setup. The kicker, the real awesome bit is this. This editor is amazing, but it's also very complex. If you can see, yes, you can see the pointer, can you?
Yeah.
So this is to set up your splitting points. You can split through frets, but you can also split through strings at the same times, and you can split filter or modulations on the plug-in side. Sorry, for that I need to put it into picking. So I can select in which point of the plugin area I'm gonna put a difference, as in to the right is gonna do one thing and to the left is gonna do a different thing. As in I could attach filter cutoff or not process resonance to have to the left full resonance bright and to the right full no resonance whatsoever, and that would be just the plugin head. So just by the way you attack on the position you attack on the string, the filter will know how much resonance you want.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And the other one underneath is the one I'm not sure about. This other level here is something also similar. Here, for instance,
is that pick position? Is that your pick split, your pick position split? It's got to
yeah,
be.
but it's.
Well, forget the 3 pickups. I mean, it's.
I
is
don't
that
know.
Where you're picking?
I don't know which one, the top one or the bottom one. That's the pick position, or both the pick position. As in, you can have 2 different splits for two different parameters. So you could have resonance on the top, cutting in this position, and on the bottom you could have, I don't know, velocity cutting in these positions. I don't know. I need to go through it.
You need to read the instructions. But
the other thing is amazing is on top of all these splits, the only thing that 55 can do, because 55 don't have any of these splits, the only split you can do is this one, which is, you see here, says MIDI channel.
Yeah.
It assigns each string on a different MIDI channel. You can set the one that is the lowest and the rest go in succession. You cannot map, I don't think you can map specific strings to non-consecutive MIDI channels, but you can do this. If you go to common, suddenly all the strings go in the same MIDI channel.
Right.
But what I think you can do is then with the fret split, have a MIDI channel separation. So 0 to 12 fret would go to MIDI channel 1, then 12 and beyond would go to MIDI channel 2.
Yeah.
If you want to use 2 sounds on a multi-timbral or 2 different synthesizers on different MIDI channels.
And
It's amazing,
like a cheat
but
sheet on top of your box so you know what the hell each preset does, right?
the problem is this editor, the unit doesn't need the computer to work. It's a standalone, fully real standalone, and you can choose one MIDI channel on the MIDI in, on the 5-pin MIDI in, to select which program, because all this setup is only one program out of 127. So you can have different configurations. This here, this funky business on top of the headstock is your MIDI transposition. On the global, you set up the tuning or the notes that the guitar actually has, and then on the patch, you can transpose it to whatever the heck you need. That's why you need 127 patches, because all these combined is a lot of combinations. Also, these you can set up that when you load the patch will trigger on specific channels, specific patches. So just by saying next PC program from 1 to 2, it will spread all the MIDI PC messages to all your synths connected to sync what you need for the song or for the instance of the song.
Crazy.
Also, you can all this nuance stuff. 55 cannot do it. It doesn't have it. Not per patch. You have kind of global settings for all of this, sort of, but very, very most generic, and it doesn't work as easy as this one. That's why I want to talk about this technology. It was really, but once again, it was a VHS versus Betamax situation. Betamax was superior, but it was more expensive, so less people bought it. So the format died.
Oh. Same
with mini disc and CD.
Is this software easy to find, or did you have to go track it down?
Both. It's hard. It's half hard to track it down, but it's totally free because by now I think it's open source.
Yeah. Oh, but anyway, from what I've seen right here, this is better than the AX100.
Why? How? Which way?
You've got all the features, and you've got a decent user interface.
And the 100, you have to do everything on the face. Have you?
And it's a really crappy little display too. That's why I got this thing, and I'm digging through software.
I couldn't see it. You didn't put it on camera.
It's basically a touch screen, a Raspberry Pi.
Okay.
To basically, so I set up my Axon to just put out, MIDI channel 1 through 6 for the 6 strings, no splits of any kind, and then just with the MIDI data comes into that, I'll know what strings what, and that's where I'll do my fret splits. Have a graphical interface on that to do what you just showed me.
So then, because I thought you were checking right a minute ago, what type of computer connection does the AX100 have?
Nothing.
No computer connection. So
Nothing.
just 5-pin in.
This was almost before computers. Really.
Not even RS-232? Nothing?
No.
I don't think it was before computers.
No,
I know what you mean.
I know that.
I know what you mean.
Computers, but
Yeah.
it's got nothing on the back. MIDI in and out and audio out. That's it.
So can you see any brand attached to the AX100 model?
Oh, it's blue chip. It's the original.
So yours is blue chip Axon AX100. Okay, because that's what we were commenting. Mine is Terratec, which is the second company that took over.
And which model is yours? Terratec what? What is it called?
AX50. 150.
So it's worth it. And you've got a beautiful interface for it too.
And it's the AX50 USB. Probably they did Blue Chip did an AX50 non-USB. Possibly.
It didn't last long.
Yeah, because as I said, they did one thing right.
What do you expect?
They did one thing right, which is trying to go down the 13-pin tech, because that gave them a little bit of an edge on the market, not to disappear instantly. Because you can see it on NAMM every year. Every year somebody brings their new guitar controller to do MIDI. But every year, either the guitar is ugly, clunky, and uncomfortable, or you have to buy a proprietary pickup that doesn't work with anything pre-existent. And that is the death of those devices.
Do you want to hear the cons from the Sound on Sound article?
Cons of what?
The unit you have.
Yeah, please do.
A computer is essential for setting up and editing, but it's powerful, right? So it's not really a con.
True.
Yeah.
Well, depends.
No hold switch input, 13-pin not reliable. The socket not reliable.
Okay, I can see
That's
that.
universal.
And manual thin on practical help. That was their cons.
When was this?
Say that again.
Manual is thin on practical help, so you're kind of on your own, basically.
When was this published?
Well, probably the manual for that is, get the editor.
The pros are fast, accurate tracking, simple to use on a basic level. Some useful, more sophisticated features are available if you need them, which is obvious on your editor. And using on-screen editor is simpler than doing everything from a front panel with a tiny display, like you said. And good quality GM sound set included.
Not on the 50.
No.
This is for the... Oh, wait. This is the 50.
That must be the blue chip 50, not this 50.
No, it's the same as yours.
Yeah.
Terratec Axon AX50 USB. Same one you showed.
No sounds inbuilt in this one. Never had, never will. No.
This is from 2007. That's the Sound article.
Once again, sound many times, and I know that because of the JV collection.
Reviewer.
Exactly. They just copy paste the blurb. Whatever the manufacturer says, all the marketing says, and probably let's be positive thinking. They got a mistypo between the Terratec 100, which I believe had come with inbuilt sounds, and the 50, who doesn't.
The blue chip Axon 100. There were two models, the 100 and the 100 SB. The SB means soundboard. You could get it with or without.
Exactly.
And maybe the 50 you could too.
So let me show you. So this is the Terratec manual, okay? Is it too big now?
Yeah, that's good.
So that's good. Okay. So it's not. I mean, this is gonna be a little. Can I do this? No. Okay. Let's see. Can I do this? This is. Oh my God! This is uglier than the Chrome one. Oh, here. It's. Let me go down all the way. It's 39 pages. I think I've read it at least once. It didn't feel confusing. This one comes with this PDF comes with very nice pictures and examples of everything and how to do stuff. So I don't see why they would say that the manual it's on your own, because if you come brand new to this tech, everything is alien. So yeah, they're not taking you to the hand and explaining you point by point.
Well, your manual was dated 2008, and that review 2007. It could have been.
They could have improved it, yes.
Because of the
no,
yeah,
totally.
That's right. We forgot to work on the manual. Sorry, we'll get that done.
In fact, yeah. Axon AX550 USB version 2 in English. So I'm going to see the date now here. Sorry for the DZ movement. Yeah, January 2008. Possibly. It's very likely that they made a proper manual once people complain about it. But
so check this out. This one paragraph here says, although it is useful to have a good GM sound set included with the instrument, I feel that most MIDI guitar players, blah, 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 look out for something more ambitious. It should be wrong to judge the Axon AX50 USB based on the included sound set. That's not really what it's about. But then there's another paragraph here, which I'm trying to find. I just missed it, where it says it doesn't have a sound set. In the same article. No one proofread the article.
And that type of imprecisions, I found a big handful of them when researching the JB stuff. And that's why if I ever make a second channel, I want to make a channel for the JB to clear all the misunderstandings and the broken telephone communication that it's floating in the internet. Because, and I don't know if you know, but so far the biggest effort talking and the best resources talking about the JVs expressly, the JVs, thank you, is by Dom Sigalas, which funny enough now is working for Steinberg Yamaha. It's the same Dom Sigalas, okay? It's the guy doing the videos for Steinberg, for Cubase, and for all the Yamaha channel international. Good. Even he, I think, at least it sounds to me, commits grave enough mistakes talking about the collection, the family in general, and sound to me like many others in the internet, they never had the whole collection in front of them. As in, all the people talking in the internet about all the JV models, none of those persons ever had every single item to test what the blurb was saying about the items. So they probably had 2 or 3 items out of the 10 synthesizers, and they extrapolate the virtues of the ones they don't have based on what the blurb it's outside said or didn't say, if I'm making any sense. So they end up saying that, I don't know, JB1000 is a JB80. Okay, the keyboard JB1000 is a JB80 just with a sequencer. No, they did many more improvements in the JB1000 that the JB80 cannot even dream of doing. Starting with the most evident, JV80, the original, the first item ever released, from the sRJV cards, the patch expansions, the PCM expansions, sound expansions they call them, I think. If you want to test the new sounds, you first have to load them one by one, patch by patch, into your 64 patch slots on your keyboard. And then you can play them to see if you like them.
Yikes.
Funky, huh? JV880, the rack JV80, improved that, as in you could load 64 patches in one go instantly, and I think you could preview the patch before you loaded for, I think you can preview, there's a funky way to hear the patch before you're preloaded.
There's
but you still
racks.
can do.
They're always fancier than the keyboard versions that came first, like the JV880 and the 10 and the JD990. The JD880, JD800, sorry, has all of the controls and stuff like that. But the 990 added all kinds of extra processing power. That's why Don Solaris loves the 990. You know,
exactly. So 80 loads patches one by one. 880 load patches in batches of 64. 1000, which is the chronological order of the release of those items, 1000 has instant access to all the patches. He can read on real time, so you can go to this sRJV, listen to the sound, play it, try it, and then decide if you want to load it or not. They're not the same.
Yeah.
And that's just one of the many aspects that a lot of people make a blanket over them. Oh, an 880 is an 80 on a rack.
Well,
no, the 880. I'm not talking only Cigalas.
No, I know. I'm just kidding.
Cigalas, like many others, and I understand.
Cigalas or Solaris? There's two guys that have
Cigala. He's talking about Cigalas.
Okay.
Yeah. Who's Solaris?
There's Don Solaris and Dom Cigalas.
Cigalas and Don
okay.
Solaris. So Don Solaris is the guy I just bought DP4 patches from.
Yeah, Don Solaris is cool. He's a cool guy. That's not his real name, obviously. It's
not.
I think it is.
Buy his patches, you learn his real name. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't even know his real name. I just know.
Oh, Cigalas. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, Solaris. So, but I understand that. Why would any of them be as stupid as I am to buy all of them? Because only when you buy all of them and you put them through the same pair of headphones, same pair of speakers or headphones, you do realize that even the things that should be copycat, my best example is just on your face. The program one of every synthesizer ever is a piano, it's an acoustic piano. Usually a grand piano or something that feels acoustic piano, right? If you compare...
But anyway, that's another story.
That was your answer to the why question, though. Why don't you tell the person that?
Wait, but if you search for piano patch 1 or for the first grand acoustic piano on all of them, I think only 2 of them sound the same. And those 2 are the GS's 35 and 50 because those are the only ones, after me testing, that are actually the same thing. To the point, there's so much the same thing that Roland didn't even bother printing 2 manuals. If you bought the 35, you got the
on it or something like that.
No. Sometimes not even that. It's the same section. If you have a 35, you can do this. But if you have a 50, you can do this on the same page. Yeah. On the I can show you the front page is JV35, JV50, and both pictures of the both keyboards. The only difference is 50 has a floppy MIDI file player. Apart from that, the guts, the same motherboard, same chipset, same DAX, same everything.
By the way, before I forget, the back about the box you were talking about, I found this section of the article. It's pretty funny because it mentions the software that you don't have probably. It says, unlike its larger sibling, there are no built-in sounds with this model. So there's the contradiction. It says, instead, you get a copy of Terratec's Producer's Wave X-Table 4, a 64-part multi-timbral soft synth that offers the full set of 128, blah, 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 blah. So have you seen that before?
I've just got a review of that software because I'm reading Old Sound and Sounds in the bathroom.
I've never heard of it, but if you're using that box, you should track it down.
This is where I'm thinking, like, Terratec, they were into everything. It's like this Terratec Wavetable VST.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I've never heard of that. It's got that classic look, the gray and blue. And
I think I got it. The memory I have, which is very blurred, and it's from years ago. So when I got the unit and I started getting all the software, I think I did got it, but I think it would only run under XP. So it would not run, not even on the not even on compatibility mode. It would not. Wow. It would not run under 7, because when I bought the unit, I still running 7.
Oh, that's weird.
And that's probably why I got rid of it.
I'll put the link to the article here in the chat. So that's the Sound on Sound article.
The first chat. Could you, since you have a refresh, could you post this in Discord, please?
Yeah, sure.
And
put it in general. I might copy it to somewhere else if required.
I need to peel off here at this point, I think. Call it a night. So.
Well, it's soon enough to do so. It's right at time.
Yeah. A couple of things to do.
But as I said, Guitarful, if you
your Synth South West show went well despite all the horrors. They're horrors that only you seem to experience. I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
Really. So in that sense, it was like success.
not so much, not so horrible at all.
Not so horrible, and more importantly, that the flag has been planted for the future.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the gig night, there were hints or goodwill expressions that they're gonna see or put their efforts into making it a 2-day long for next year. If it happens next year, they're gonna do their best and try to make it 2 days. And as I said, my next event is gonna be Synthesize in Cambridge, which is in the Museum of Computer History. It's an event they do yearly, kind of.
Sounds familiar.
I will share all the links and everything as soon as they have them. And I'm going to bring 55. I'm going to bring the Yamaha. I'm going to bring the PP1, the Behringer PP1. Basically, 3 or 4. I'm going to bring the GT100 because that is a very funky one. It's very interesting for people who it's undecided but wants to tip their toes. And because it's discontinued very recently, I have to add, it's very affordable. But basically, as many ways to do guitar into synth or guitars into MIDI as I can.
Is GT100 the audio-based one, or is it still hexaphonic pickup?
Quarter inch. It doesn't do hexaphonic.
Yeah, okay.
So because GT100 is a Boss product, okay, and it's before Boss took over the synth division of Roland, the guitar synth division of Roland. Sorry. They were basically testing the gear because when you got brand new the unit, it could not do it. But on the version 2 of the firmware, they added an algorithm and a whole block of settings, an extra page of menus of setups for what they call guitar to MIDI. Basically, it's taking the quarter inch, still monophonic, and with a very funky implementation about notes, but...
What about latency? Is it pretty good?
None. It's as fast as the PP1, as the Behringer. It's lining fast and very little mistriggers, very little confusion. It's very, very good. It's better than 55. is almost as good as 55 on the custom side, not on the Rumpler side.
With a little bit of wiring, you could take 6 GT100s and do it.
Yeah.
Although,
say good night, guys. Take it easy.
night. Sorry. Take care. See you soon. Sorry. Wrong button. It's funky because out of the 4-inch, I remember it's monophonic, but it's multi-channel. It can split the strings in different MIDI channels.
There you go.
But also to the point that it would handle 7-string guitars.
Yeah.
Although I think it only splits in 6 channels. So 2 of your strings are going to be in the same channel, I think. What it gets funky is that it splits different strings on different MIDI channels, but not at the nut. It splits it on the same note. You know, guitar, you have multiples of the same note. Means that it's a cross wave of notes, meaning that some strings, or basically all the strings but one, are gonna be able to play 2 different sounds in the same string.
Right.
Because one note is before the split and the rest of the string is after. It's bonkers. Also, to prevent mistriggerings, they restricted the range of the notes that it can play, not on the top, because I haven't been able to go beyond 24 frets. I don't have any guitar beyond 24 frets. So that's why. And I don't think I've tested it with a whammy bar yet, not in anger. So let's assume that going higher, it's infinite, which I don't, let's assume. But when you go low, you know that the problem with hexaphonic pickups and stuff is the rumble.
Right.
And discerning and splitting what's rumble, what's note, what's music. When it goes low, it only goes all the way to A.
55?
A1.
A1, okay.
As in, a standard guitar tuning is E to E2, right? So E4 to E2. Am I right?
So it's right.
Yes, because bass guitar is E1, right?
Yep.
So the limit going lower goes, so if that's E2, goes to A1, because they were taking in consideration 7-string guitars tuned to B1.
Right.
But because drop and because the kids were dropping and making it lower, they gave you 1 extra note lower, so A1. But any note lower than A1 on any string, it will not sound. It will not make a MIDI sound, a MIDI message.
So on the GT100, if you hooked it to an Axis Virus, made a custom multi-timbral patch with the same preset, you could basically have a multi-timbral guitar.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's cool.
But I still think it's limited to 1 note at a time. You could have 6 parts multi-timbral on 6 different strings.
Not at the same time.
But only one. But only for melodies. You still cannot play chords because the tech wasn't there yet. And remember that it's not a hardware improvement, it's a firmware update. It's an algorithm that they added to the unit on the version 2, not on the 1.
Are they going to add via audio the chord possibilities, or no? Do you know about that? Because I know they have those. They have those. Like TC Helicon and some other companies have those tuners that can read multiple pitches at once.
Yes. And GR55 has that, well, although it's not a merit in 55, but 55 has the polyphonic tuner as well. I said it's not a merit because 55 is already working on divided pickup. But in fact, can GT100 do polyphonic tuner? Ask me again, but I'm going to go with yes. It has a polyphonic tuner. But it's different to hear 6 different notes on a barrage of harmonics, finding 6 peaks on your harmonic spectrum, than from those 6 peaks decide if they're harmonics or fundamentals and code them all at the same time into MIDI. It's a completely different finesse of the technology, because for tuning, for getting peaks, very small peaks, the smallest peak is enough. And if the peak varies, it's just the needle's going to move. That's all.
Or if they could do a real-time Melodyne type approach, they could do that.
That's why the SY units and the GM and GV units are based on. The SY units, the blurb started promoting that they could do polyphony out of the 1/4-inch connection. Can they? Yes, they can. But it's the one I tried, my experience, sounds weird.
Or has a lot of errors or something? Or is it?
No, not errors, not mistriggering, no. Sounds paraphonic.
Oh.
Like it's hearing the different pitches of the different strings, but it's not triggering with envelopes, VCAs, VCF,
how could
each string.
How could it do that?
Although paraphonic is still cool, so I don't mind paraphonic.
So basically, it sounds like when you on a how to put it, on a polyphonic synth, when you open everything with one key, or one of the organs, the old type synthesizer-based organs, you open the VCA with one key, and then you just add the other keys that don't trigger; they just add the harmonics. That's how the SYs I tried sound like to me. They can detect it. They can know. Oh, I mean, for God's sake, Cubase. Okay, Cubase is a Steinberg, is Yamaha, is a different company altogether. Cubase, the latest thing they added is that if you have a piece of music with any amount of instruments whatsoever, original music, recorded, whatever, or something you have put together, even if it's a polyphonic instruments, it's a down mix of anything, you can just drag and drop that lane into the chord track, and it would read precisely every single chord in the music, and it would write it to you from the original recording. Do you understand what I'm talking? He's analyzing every single frequency, harmonics, multitimbrals, every frequency, and decided which ones are repeats, so he can downsize everything to a chord box. And it takes seconds.
Wow.
But if you try to get a guitar strumming chords and try to put it into the pitch correction software that Cubase has, it cannot do it. You need to feed it monophonic lines.
Can't they do some kind of EQing so it picks the stronger signal, get the fundamentals out of stuff, and then?
Well, it would almost be like hearing a choir and trying to pick out who's singing what note.
Yeah,
exactly.
They're
getting there. They're getting there.
But that must be what that technology you said sounds paraphonic. It must be doing some kind of EQing to filter it out, right?
Well, it probably knows the peak of a note. It can get the velocity of the note, then it can hit the peak of it, but the decay of it, it's going to get mixed in with, you've got an E and an A played together, but one is a fifth harmonic of the other, and it's going to have trouble.
What is? But once again, they're getting there because of the spectral layers in the spectral analysis that DAWs are applying nowadays. Yeah. So they can tell a guitar from a violin. They can tell a piano from a guitar. They know that they're different things, and that's the first level. So the magic is there. They're doing so much once again, just from a recorded album, a whole band playing, drag and drop, and it shows you all the chords because it hears all the harmonics and then decides how to write it down. Although you need to give them parameters on how do you like it to be written down.
Yeah, but can
I like that old pitch
the
to MIDI stuff. Pitch to MIDI's been around forever, and it's pretty clever, right? So
but once again, pitch to MIDI is based on monophonic material.
Yeah, monophonic.
You give me one note, I convert and translate and send. This, and once again, my reading between the lines, my deduction is they're applying cell phone technology. The deplexing of 1,000 frequencies of phone calls and data transfer in one single wavelength through the harmonics. Yeah. They're applying I'm sure I would put my hand on the flame. That's the technology they're using. It's still on very early steps, but there's still once again, the MPC, the latest MPC, can do de-stemming. How do you think they do that? Because you're feeding a bunch of full band frequencies all over the place, and they can tell guitar from keyboards, from bass, from vocals. How the fuck they do that? Yeah. The technology is getting there, but when it comes to gear, it's always the race. What can the technology do? And how much does it cost to put it into a box I can sell to the customers?
The best stemming stuff I've heard is still the online of the computer. The built-in MPC stuff is still kind of wonky. The processing power is not as good.
Same is the spectral layers, because the biggest problems I had with the first song, the one I was playing guitar, the one I got the pickup wrong, is that track was already created on very high quality, but was created on MP3 loops and samples. Oh yeah. Then I processed the shit out of it in the program, and then I applied as many effects as I saw fit. Then I fed that to spectral layers, and it still managed to separate 90% of all the instruments. The different scenes, the guitars from the bass, the drums from the rest. Yeah. But it gets some harmonics confused. It would put vocal harmonics into the drum kit, cymbal harmonics into the guitar track, because it's the same. They're so similar because of the multiprocessing and the blurring of the final mix that even this program has issues with it. And it could be just down that I don't know how to set it properly. I cannot discard that. But what it can do is already impressive.
Like I have a subscription to this French guy who has a handwritten like AI extraction tool, and you can easily remove, if you have a movie soundtrack with spoken word, dialogue and stuff, you can easily just take it right the hell out, and it's insanely good. Occasionally it makes a mistake, but
that's pretty easy. That's actually pretty easy because
exactly.
It's easier than what he's talking about, but it's still insane how good it is because it doesn't have artifacts. It's really good.
Yeah.
Spectral layers, another thing you can do is to clean background noise. If you get at least, I think it's 1 or 2 seconds of just noise in the recording, you need to teach it. It's an ML system, so you need to teach, this is noise, remove this. And it doesn't matter how busy it gets later, it will remove only the noise.
I even did it in a movie where some of the dialogue was incredibly low, or there's a PA system with some weird reverb and like, the megaphone effect and stuff. It sounded awful. And then you run it through this thing, extract it, and then I'm able to tweak it with some other tools to bring up to the same amplitude. And now you can hear stuff in the movie you never knew what they were saying. It was really cool, actually. So.
But as Guitarful said, speech is easy because the bandwidth is a third of any instrument.
It's only 1
it's basically
That's true, but just the fact that it's clean, that's the thing that surprises me. Taking out is one thing, but you would think there'd be ghost artifacts on the music track, and occasionally there are.
Yeah.
But
no, because of phase. The system is not only sensing pitch, it's not only sensing harmonics, it's sensing phase. Things don't happen at the same time. That's, for instance, and it pisses me off now that I'm finding so many problems using the software. When they show you what spectral layers or ozone or any of the things can do, they show you with a modern produced, high quality bit rate recorded hip hop track. What's the first rule in hip hop? Nothing happens at the same time. Vocals, keys, drums, vocals, keys, drums. Yeah. But when it is, it's so different in the lyrics. As in, one is way louder or way brighter or way darker. But even if it's by a nanosecond, they don't happen at the same time.
Yeah.
And with that type of format, this software, it's for breakfast. They can do wonders with that shit. Problem is when you put it something where the harmonics are basically superpositions of the harmonic sequence of the other instruments that are very bang on, very tight, or sequence, so they actually happen at the sequence, or quantize, so they actually happen at the same time. That's when the system goes bonkers. It's like, I don't know. I don't have any reference to tell one from the other. So
speaking of harmonics, you want to hear something really weird? Do you know who Adam Neely is? He's a famous bass player and does all kinds of music tech stuff and all. He had a great video a while back. He did a talk somewhere, and it was creating the harmonic series out of different tempos of rhythms, sped up at insane amounts of
I saw
speed.
it.
And you get the harmonic series out of it. It's totally crazy, right? Yeah.
But what it boggled me about that is that he used Ableton Live, because apparently in Ableton Live you can speed tempos beyond audio range
by a couple thousand-fold.
Yeah,
exactly. Because if you only have 100 to 400 beats per second, which is what most applications give you, because who needs to have a snare drum more than 300 beats per second?
But the point of that thing was also showing at certain tempos it actually correlated. So it wasn't just random shit.
Is the algorithmic math behind it, and is the expression that rhythm is pitch and pitch is rhythm. It's just rhythm is very slow pitch.
Right.
Same thing with percussion. When I was very small and heard musicians talking, they were talking, could be just the quality of the musicians, blah, blah, blah. But the vibe around me was that except for timpani, concert timpani percussion, every other percussion in the world didn't have a pitch, therefore didn't need to be tuned. As
you still tune a snare drum for a certain tonal sound or something. So.
Yeah.
But since when?
Your toms.
That's my point. Since when?
It's not for the pitch per se. It's more of the timbre.
Yeah.
But no. Yes, but no. That's what they were. The drummers, the dumbest in the band, the one that is not really a musician, not really, the perfect musicians. But
that was a
one second.
Yes,
they would
say, get the chicks. So, yeah.
They would say, "Oh no, I'm just changing it because it fits this. Because this song needs a deeper snare drum or a brighter snare drum." Problem is, most of the people were talented natural musicians that were actually hearing that the frequency of the snare was outside the scale of the rest of the piece. It's not well. I assume that started happening with the advent of tuner devices, stroboscopic, digital pitch reference devices, precise pitch devices. And obviously it went ballistic when we started doing production and started using delay lines for pitch correction and tape speed for pitch correction. And then the AWs, when we could finally see if something was out of pitch, that's when the producers turned around and said, oh, that snare is out of pitch, pitch it up. Because it's outside the frequency.
Shit snares out there.
Yeah, because that's the drummers that never learn how to tune drums. But the ones that actually get taught and they go professionally, they say, okay, it could be, problem is the same conversation we had about voice singing. Humans can tolerate a big deal of inaccuracy when it comes to pitch. So a ballpark drum kit that is not really dissonant with the rest of the band, we say fine, we don't really pay attention. But when you go into it and do it right, let's say the song is in E minor, I need you a drum kit tuned in E. Means that each piece has to have a specific interval and it has to be pleasantly relative to the scale of E minor. You can press it.
I can see people doing that, but even guys like Rick Beato don't talk about this for drums.
Because he knows, first of all, once again, he knows that doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
B, he knows that real professionals don't really put the drums to the pitch correction. And if they have to, they will. They put the drums through Melodyne, right? If they have to. But B is more of a feel. As long as it's not so much off that it sounds wrong, and when this happens, talking at the drummer level, it's like, I don't like that snare. Can we play this other snare? Not only because it's a different material and have different overtones, but also because it's on a different pitch. And that pitch possibly suits better the song than the other pitch.
But in a matter of seconds, you can use your drum key and do whatever you want. So.
It's not seconds, it's a couple minutes.
It depends on who it is and how bad the drum is, but you know. So.
Exactly, but it's never seconds, it's a couple minutes to get it right, because basically I'm obsessed with all the music, tech, and musicians I don't understand, and I fucking don't understand drummers or drumming. Is my weakest point. So I'm obsessed trying to learn what's going on there. How do you do it right? And the latest knowledge I acquired is that to do it right, for instance, a snare, you actually have to do it wrong. Because if you pitch the snare and the skin to have a perfect pitch that you think is in tune, it's never going to be in tune. Basically, you have to bring it close and then off. It's a little bit like detuning two oscillators.
Yeah, make it faster sound.
When it's bang on, it sounds like shit. When it's
it just
on
sounds
a
plain
sweet
and
spot,
clean. It's just boring. Yeah.
And disappears. When it's on a sweet spot, it enhances the red. And the problem with drums is they have two skins.
Yeah.
And both affect the final pitch, and not on a linear fashion. So tuning a drum kit, that's why many famous drummers don't even know how to tune.
Yeah.
Because when they got faced on a studio with an untuned drum kit, they did such a mess that the producer, the engineer, and everybody around him said, go and have a coffee, come in 30 minutes. And they would tune the drum to the tune of the song with the recording. Pa, 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 here.
And for me, the most amazing thing about drummers is the individual control. Like, especially the guys, the prog guys like Danny Carey and stuff, who can do one time signature here, one time signature here, different one on each foot, and they keep it all straight, and it's unbelievable.
Well, a lot of times on guitar, you're doing that with your individual fingers, though.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I think that the farthest guitar place we can take it is, yes, you're doing something here and something mostly synced here, and you could be something with one of your feet, one of your foot. feet.
Or if you do the bass with where you're plucking, right? You have more control over that with the.
But that's synced. That has to be synced. Although you can do trills, although you can do trills, is subdivisions of the same thing. Why don't you agree?
Because it depends on what you're playing. I mean, as a fingerstyle and a classical guitarist, I run into that a lot. Stuff where you're basically doing hammers and pull-offs out of sync with the right hand. And sometimes it's like, once just a millisecond difference, and it has to be a millisecond difference.
Or some weird-ass bass stuff by Les Claypool or something. That's just weird.
But the one thing that I don't think...
Careful with the slap. Go ahead.
One thing I'll probably never be able to do is, and Johnny Winter is the only one I've seen to do it, he will play one lead line while singing a different melody. He does that all the time, or did that all the time. And it's like...
Basically, it's compartmentalizing because the way I like to teach it when I have any pupils or any chance to teach anybody, we need to remember that we have two brains. Well, three, in fact. Okay? You have your light... Sorry, what?
My dog has three brains. I don't.
We all have three. So you have your right half, your left half, and then you have your limbic one. Okay? The back one. This one is the one that takes care to the repetitive motions. This is the one that walks, not this one. None of these ones know how to walk.
That's your muscle memory then.
Exactly. So when I teach something, or the way to, for instance, to sing and play, is first learn to play until you don't have to think to do it, until it goes from here to here. Then don't stop playing, do the singing until it goes from here to here. So all your muscle memories will pitch the notes non-stop. And then just try very slowly, ramping up, to do both. Because in the worst case scenario, it will go back here, but in different halves of the brain. And if you pay very exquisite attention, except for very talented people who actually can split motility and lexicon, one of them is a subset of the other. On strumming, you usually strum at the same time you give your vocal accents.
Yeah.
So then the rest of the vocal syllables are subdivisions in between strummings. But one is accenting what the other one is doing at the same time. And that's the same reason why it's slightly easier for a bass player to be the lead vocalist.
Mm-hmm.
Because bass is designed to go on the accents. And in between, but definitely for sure on the accents. And that's where the vocals also come, or don't come at all. They come in between the accents. So it's kind of a one, bap, bap, ping, pi, pi,
Yeah.
If it's a subdivision of the main, of the things that your hand is doing, it's easy to learn. The problem is what you said. If you're playing in 4/4 in your hands and singing in 5/4, that's when everything goes to shit. That's when very few people can do it.
I just thought it was crazy the drummers that can sing, like Phil Collins or plenty of other ones out there, where they're also out of breath potentially and doing amazing stuff and singing. It's crazy.
But once again, this is all this. Drumming is 90% this. It's never this. Because if you start thinking about
you're
drumming...
still doing 4 limbs. It's crazy.
No. But it's still... No. Once again, vocals is not a limb.
No, I know, but I'm just saying the drumming alone is impressive. And then you add the vocals on top of it. It's crazy.
But think about it, okay? Drumming has to be 90% limbic, because if you're thinking about drumming, you are behind. No argue. You are behind the beat. From thought to hand, you're always behind. We're talking nanoseconds, milliseconds, yes, but you're always behind. You're never going to be on beat or ahead. So you need to stop thinking. You need to
basically, Adam Mullen
engage.
Jr. from U2 is thinking too much. He's always a little off the beat.
Or every reggae drummer, because they're...
Larry Mullen Jr.
The difference is if you're behind and drifting, means you have no control, or you're always the same amount behind, means you're doing it on purpose. You want to be. What's the difference between a song that feels fast and pushy and another song with the same BPM that feels relaxed and chilled? The difference is on the first one, the drummer is on beat or ahead. And I'm talking milliseconds ahead. You cannot tell how much ahead, but it's ahead. And the other one is behind. And I'm talking milliseconds behind. As in click-tack, click-tack, click-tack. Not click-tack, click-tack. I mean, it's click-tack, click-tack, click-tack. Just by that difference alone and the accents and the strength, one feels heavy metal and the other one feels reggae.
What about those busking guys who do the rhythm with their feet, guitar, and then harmonica singing, trading off all at the same time? Those guys are
pay attention. Usually the feet and the strumming is synced or equal subdivisions. 1 feet, 4 strummings. 1 strumming and 1 feet always hit together in the one. And then the strumming could be in the gaps in between. And then, which is limbic. So bring those motions to the limbic. And then the whistling and the melody goes in the brain, because the melody can be loose and behind. We don't care about that. What human brains that just learned care about is sound being ahead of the motion for video editing. So you can be very sloppy on how behind the sound is from the motion, and nobody in the audience will say anything. But if you put the sound ahead of the motion, everybody's going to notice instantly. Funky, huh?
Well, I mean, streaming definitely shows a lot of those artifacts. You look like a Japanese movie that's not translated right, and the mouth's moving, but the sound's off.
The sound didn't sync, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that coming through?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to get ready a demo of the Axon. In fact, this is the proof that the Axon doesn't need
the
a computer.
Axon's not coming through, just your guitar playing.
Yeah.
No, that's
all I hear is just your strings.
Yeah, you just playing the strings.
I'm just hearing string sound.
But anyway, I realize what time it is. I gotta eat and go do some shit. So
yeah.
It's good hanging out, guys.
It's getting late.
Thank you very much. Guitar Fool, if I can count on you for the next show to do the Axon, I would appreciate it. So you have a month to read the manual and go through it.
I'm going to try to find an AX50. But anyway,
I won't stop you. I won't stop you.
It would save me a lot of work. But the interface, graphic interface I want to do on that, that's the code for actually implementing it is piece of cake. It really is. I mean, there's nothing to it. It's
the UI.
The graphical interface.
I know.
I suck at graphics.
The AX50 look like around $300 some places, so they're around.
Oh, where'd you see it? On Reverb?
Well, I found a one that was already sold on Reverb, but just sold, so it's up close to $300. So.
Oh, I saw an AX100 for $150 on eBay.
Oh wow!
But it untested, not working.
Yeah.
And the one that doesn't connect to the computer. Yeah.
And that was my question about if it's broken, what do you do? And there you go. That's probably why the guy's selling it.
Well, hey, see those? Well, can you see them over there? Those 3 keyboards leaning up. Well, actually, just the 2 longer ones.
On the wall.
Yeah, those are the Studio 49s from Fatar or Fatar, however you pronounce it. Maybe it's pronounced Smythe. I don't know. Neither one of those worked when I got them. And one of them was tested and working. And the guy had only had a rating of 7 on eBay.
Oh, wow.
And after I was done with him, he had an 8 with 1 bad. But anyway, here's the insides of one. I got a third one that half worked. And I think it's a common problem with the keyboards themselves, with the circuit boards.
The contacts or something?
Yeah, it's easy to take them apart and clean them up. And, You can also take the keys off and wash them. If you can't get them really white, you can use the.
Don't you have to get new carbon pads for the contacts?
No, they are. There's 2 carbon pads, and one of them, of course, since the key hits it at an angle, one makes contact first, and there's your velocity.
So you don't have to replace the carbon pads. Because I had a Kurzweil keyboard that was down a while back, and the guys told me to buy a set of carbon pads for it. And
well, no, the carbon pads are laid onto the circuit board.
But they wear out, right? So they get dirty. It's just dirty? Okay.
It's all the crap that comes in between the keys and gets down on them, gets it. So, and these things they're made. It's the simplest mechanical arrangement and the cheapest to make I've ever seen. I mean, this is the whole chassis of it. It's all plastic.
I thought the carbon pads wore down just like a pot will wear down after a while, though.
Because it's the little rubber things have 2 pads. And then underneath it, there's 4 pads, a pair here and a pair here, and the one carbon pad shorts the other 2 on the other side. And of course you can get they're not carbon, they're actually graphite, and you can get graphite paint. You could paint them on with graphite paint. You can buy this stuff.
Yeah.
But it's really just a matter of cleaning them and putting them back together again. And it's amazingly easy to do. I've been taking a lot on this one. I'm taking all the pictures I missed on those 2, and I'm putting up a web page on how to do it.
Nice.
Cool. And there's not much of anything to it. Pretty simple.
Cool.
Yeah, it's just not fun taking all the damn keys out and stuff. Some keyboards are pain in the ass.
These things, it's a piece of cake. Over there, I'm not going to turn this. Over there, I got my Odyssey, my ARP Odyssey. That's just off.
It's off camera. Yeah.
And that's got the Pratt and Reed keyboard.
Oh, the old ones, yeah.
Yeah, you make sure when you disassemble one, you do it in a small, clean room, because half of those springs are going to go flying.
That's what Kent Spong says all the time. Yeah, they're pretty crazy.
And that was a pain in the butt. When I completely disassembled that keyboard, replaced all the bushings, cleaned everything, put it all back together. All the slider pots I've taken apart, cleaned them up, and all that stuff, put them back together, because they make replacements for them, but the replacement sliders were made like 10 years later, back in the 80s.
Yeah.
So they need to be disassembled and cleaned, because the lube that they used in them dries.
Yeah.
Turns into glue.
Ooh.
So you have to
red glue. It's good stuff.
so you have to disassemble them and clean them anyway. And the first thing you have to do that is unsolder them from the circuit boards. And ARP used a buttload of solder.
Oh wow.
It was cheap back in the day.
It's like several cc's of solder per board. It's a lot. Fortunately, I've got a really nice automatic solder sucker
that's good.
But I had to keep emptying it,
It's all in one. It has the heat element and the little plunger thing and all that.
Well, it's not a plunger. It's just a trigger. I mean, it heats up. You put the trigger, the pump sucks out the solder.
Nice.
But the vial, fills up like a couple of times from every circuit board.
Wow.
Thank God is lead solder. Although I work with silver solder, and I don't really. Yes, you have to use hotter tips and more flux.
But you can solder.
And in a way, I don't know. It's because I learned to solder properly with silver solder wire, but I learned to solder badly with lead wire. And because now my results are way better, feels easier to me to work on silver than it used to be to work on lead, because nobody taught me right on lead.
How much hotter is just silver?
20 to 30 degrees more.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay.
But I just keep my little Weller set at 750, and which is a little bit hotter than you need.
Wait, 700?
750. I think
centigrade?
No, I think that's Fahrenheit.
Oh God! Because in the factory we're doing 420. centigrade.
Sorry about that. It's subtract 32 and divide by
1.8. Yeah.
And,
But it's true that we go through liters of flux. We use alcohol-based methane flux, and we do liters and liters of that shit.
don't breathe that.
No, it's not too bad. We breathe it, obviously, because it's alcohol. It's very volatile. But we got the fans, we got the extraction systems.
I'm sure it's methanol, or it's not ethanol. So
No, met with methanol.
yeah,
It's the 4-alcohol methanol.
Oh, yeah.
But apart from that, I don't really see. Obviously, the 0.5 wire is way harder on silver because there's not enough room to put a flux core in it, so it dries very quickly, and you get very dry dry joints very quickly. But the normal ones, the 1 mil, the 2 mil we use, not a problem. Goes fine. Cool. If you have any questions or want me, we got Discord about the X50 and the software. Hit me up. I'm on Discord. Thank you for coming. Thank you, all of you, the ones who watched today and the ones that will watch in the future, because I know you will. Thank you for coming anyway. Please let us know that you've been there, that you watched this thing we call show. And if you have any questions, suggestions, or you know for sure that we got something wrong, please tell us. Leave a comment. Okay? Thank you very much. Take care and see you again.
Everybody.
In one more time, which is going to be on the 1st of May. Friday the 1st.
May Day.
Okay.
It's called
As in War May Day?
No, that's
Okay.
May
That's
Day.
a European thing. Come on, May Day's European. Come on. You should know that.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Dance around the maypole.
Maybe Spain didn't have it, but it's all over.
No, maybe I don't know about it. Maybe I don't know about it because I like to live under a rock.
Yeah.
As I said, guys, take care and see you soon. Please don't run away. I'm just gonna end the stream in a second, as in goodbye.